right, what's up, everybody? I'm Tony from In the Guard.
And I'm Mike from In the Guard. We're here to talk about UFC 255, right? Home of all things MMA, right? The crazy world of MMA doesn't give you, does not lack topics to talk about today. Day after UFC 255, we're going to kind of go over the card, what went down, what we thought, what we saw, what we bet, how we did. Basically everything that went down yesterday in the Apex, Las Vegas, Nevada.
So let's jump right into this shit. We had Davis and Figueiredo going out there to do what Davis and Figueiredo was essentially supposed to do against the game challenger Alex Perez. But as far as I can remember, I looked away for 1 second. The fight was just about over.
Well, yeah. Well, we talk about Figueiredo. Obviously, he had the battles with Benavidez coming into this. The first one, the controversy, the weight cut, stuff like that, the headbutt, everything going on there. Then he kind of redeemed himself in that second fight and just totally cemented himself in that division. Just like, hey, I'm the king, come and get me. And then this one kind of reassured that, your first title defense, you're not really the champion until you defend that title one time. He stepped in there and pretty much did the same thing. He did the Benavidez, got him to the ground, wrapped his arms around his neck, and just choked him out. And this, like I said, cemented the fact that that is his division. Is anybody going to come and get it? I don't know. Looks like he's going to headline back-to-back cards, which I don't know that's ever been done before in the UFC, which is pretty impressive. With the other man who fought in this card, we'll talk about a little bit later. And I was impressed with him going into this card. And then afterwards, I don't see that title going anywhere anytime soon.
I mean, the man's a workhorse. He has 4 jobs.
Yeah.
One's choking and knocking people out in the octagon, making them look like children.
When
he's not doing that, he's styling their hair, bringing them some sushi, letting them explore the rice plantation he's got.
Yeah, the man, he's got glue in his armpit.
I don't know. I just think Perez was outclassed. It's like what we were saying. Perez just had this vibe about him that he just...
there's sometimes
he wasn't supposed to be in there.
Right, you get to that fight too early, and that's what you kind of hear in fights. Like, he had a fight too early in his career. He's not seasoned enough. He probably had the skill to win the fight, right? You don't get to that title fight unless you're talented, unless you're skilled, unless you know what you're doing. But getting there too quickly with the bright lights, it's an empty crowd, empty arena era. We all know about that. But he knows he's that main event on pay-per-view.
The big question, though, is why is he leapfrog Moreno? Both guys are on the same card, but Moreno, you would think, would be bumped up into that fight. And here comes Perez out of nowhere. Is it that Moreno doesn't want that kind of fight on a short notice? But here he is now being put into that position on, 3 weeks' notice? 2 weeks' notice?
Yeah, that's for the big guys that make a lot more money than us to sit behind there and deal it out.
That's true.
Maybe just the way Moreno was so set for that Royval fight. He was in his zone. He was going for it. Now he doesn't have a fight lined up. So he could say, I can go back in there. I had an easy battle. He knows Davidson's going on short notice too, so it's not like an disadvantage situation like that. Who knows what's going on behind the scenes with that? But yeah, I mean, Moreno is definitely, I think, the better contenders should have been in that fight from the beginning, probably even more than Cody, right? Cody has never fought that division before. We know why he was there, his name. Yeah. I mean, not saying that Cody couldn't go in there and beat Davis and Figueiredo in a night. He probably could. But Moreno's got jumped by 2 people. I'm just guessing it had to be more him not wanting to do it than him not being asked to do it. Otherwise, I mean, we know the rankings, they're kind of iffy to begin with, right? They kind of go wish-washy. We can make you number 5, we can make you number 14, or we can take you off the rankings if you don't want to take a fight. Leon Edwards. So the rankings, what do they really mean? I mean, we can even say the same thing about the next fight we want to talk about. We'll talk more about that. These rankings, they kind of Dana's like, I'm going to move this here and move that there so I can get the fight that I want.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, the Brazilian God of War shows up, does what he's supposed to do. Right. That's all I got to say about that one.
As far as Perez, I mean, he's still relatively young. Probably get more shots. Probably it's hard at that. Once you get to that title fight, to get that step down in competition, right? Usually you don't get that. So he's going to be fighting top dogs the rest of the way. So he's either going down to a guy like Royval or a Cody Garbrandt type guy. He's not going to fight anybody to kind of get his confidence back up. So now you're there. You're in the big show. You're fighting dogs. You're fighting the top.
Now your expectations are set. Right. You know what you're going to need when you get back to that point.
Yeah, you're not playing around no more. So now that's kind of it's going to be curious to see what he does. Right. The big narrative for him was he's the first Dana White Contender Series fighter to get a title shot. Okay, now how are you going to respond to that now that you've gotten us? That's going to be the narrative for him coming out of here.
I feel like he didn't look that good though at the weight. When he weighed in, he looked a little tired, a little depleted. Figueiredo comes in there looking just, I don't know,
I mean,
looking
look at
great before he even rehydrated.
Look at
Yeah.
that picture up there. I mean, it's been sculpted. It even looks kind of.
Look at the abs on that dude.
I mean, this.
Wash my laundry on those.
Look at the face. Let's go zoom in on Figueiredo's face. He looks ready to go to war, the God of War face. And let's go over to the other side. Let's see what we got going on. Perez looks nervous. he looks nervous in his picture. Like I'm going. Am I supposed
It's
to?
his tattoo. Protect us. It says
Man,
protect me.
so-
We need to change that.
So I think
The verbiage is off.
Like that was the best picture they showed. They took a bunch of pictures that day, and that was the best one they chose for him. So
Yeah, I guess you look mean enough in that one.
What's the next step for Figueiredo?
it's next week. Dana pretty much announced it. It's going to be him and Brandon
256.
Moreno, 256, headlining the main event. Two main events have pulled out from there. First, Amanda pulled out for whatever reason we don't know.
What the
And then
fight
now
that should have
Pete-
happened on this card? Moreno,
Yeah.
Figueiredo. Moreno, the rightful
So-
deserving challenger.
But yeah, like we said earlier, I believe that Figueiredo is going to be the first guy ever to main event back-to-back.
Early prediction for that one?
Oh, I'm going Figueiredo by submission again. Like I just grabs
Submission,
people's
round
necks
one.
and chokes them out.
Yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Well, let's move on to the next fight on that card.
The ladies.
Go back, huh?
We got the which one's big Shevchenko and which one's little Shevchenko? Not
Well,
size, but age, because we know who big.
Age and Antonina. She's older.
She's older and she's bigger.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Sorry, guys. Hold on a second.
The Shevchenkos.
That's a good one too.
We'll get to the
Here we
the
go.
Blades fight here.
Coming
in a
up. We're
second.
coming up.
Oh yeah, that one writes itself. The battle of the stashes. Yeah, look at the Perez looks kind of nervous in that picture too. Like
He
has
just
that-
looks
he
like,
has that look.
hey, I need to make a little money. I'm about to have a baby.
Like Figueiredo looks like an assassin. Like I'm gonna wrap my arms around your neck. I'm gonna put you to sleep.
So a big one. This fight right here.
Okay, where do we start?
One of the biggest favorites I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
Yeah, what was Shevchenko was what?
Negative 16.
16.
Number 1600 was it? At one point?
She opened a plus 1,000, closed at a plus
Negative.
2,000.
Negative 1,000.
Oh yeah, negative 1,000. She closed at a minus 2,000 favorite.
It was an interesting fight. I was pulling hard for Maya just so that guy who laid that 12 grand would lose.
Yeah.
I just want we were talking about watching the fights. Like if you can afford $12,000 in a fight to lay down, what's $600 going to get you?
Exactly.
What are you doing? So you just deserve to lose that?
But I also think, if you watch this fight, the thing to address is how Shevchenko looks somewhat human in round number 2.
In round 2, yes, and that's because it went right to the ground with a true black belt. Grew up in Brazil, has probably been grappling since she can walk. But
How Maya transitioned, she got her hips out, she got her half butterfly, seated the butterfly back to standing, pressing Shevchenko up against the cage. Holy shit, that's some technical stuff.
And the grappling definitely, I think, took a lot out of Valentina's striking. Normally she's crisp, she's fast, she's explosive. She still has some of that, but it was taken out. But rolling around the mats, how tired your limbs get. You don't start to get that blood flows not going to where it needs to go.
I think Maya, she had a good game plan. She got in there early, she got aggressive, she didn't give Valentina the timing she needed, the slow, methodical game plan that Shevchenko likes.
But big but here. Let's not pretend this was a close fight.
Not after the second.
No, this fight was closer than everybody thought it was
Sure.
going to be. That's all it was. It's, recency bias. Everyone's like, oh, Maya gave her this brawl, this fight. I want everybody to go back and watch this fight like 3 months from now and tell me it was a close fight.
Oh, no. Like, every exchange pretty much on the feet was 2 to 3 punches, Shevchenko rocking her. Maya might slip one in,
Right.
and then Shevchenko throws her halfway across the cage, body lock.
And Maya won that second round on points, like better position, kick control. She never once hurt Valentina. If you saw Maya's nose after that fight, I've never seen that shape before. Like I don't know what to call it. It was definitely broken, and Valentina's coming off. Like she was say it was MCL. She tore an MCL surgery.
Yeah.
So coming off of that, who knows how hard she was training before the fight camp, what she can get into. So I don't think that fight was. I mean, even if you look at the numbers, look at that total strikes, like
5 of 6 takedowns.
almost tripled her total strikes.
But I think, a very vicious, strong body lock, trip takedown game from Shevchenko.
Yeah, and then she lost round 2, but she won the grappling battle too. Like, she lost one round of it.
Yeah, I think really the only highlight of that was essentially round 2, and then Shevchenko being Shevchenko. Especially she got a rhythm in 4 and 5.
Yeah.
Maya started to wear the damage.
Yeah, props to Maya. Like, she definitely, we all thought we were gonna, that was a sit back bathroom break fight because we know Valentina goes out there and she puts people to sleep. That's what happens. It's over. She doesn't have competition, but Maya made you want to watch. But once round 3 and then halfway through round 4, like, oh, this is done. This is over. She didn't have nothing left. She just didn't have enough striking to hurt Valentina to slow her down. So she can get her in position. She could definitely take advantage of her in the grappling game, but she didn't do anything to slow Valentina from coming after her. She never hit her hard. She never rocked a leg kick or a body shot or anything to kind of get her off the accelerator. She did nothing. So, again, I think we go back 3 months from now and watch this fight.
Yeah.
This was not nowhere near close.
I mean, we could agree she put up the best fight since Nunes, I would say.
Probably. The best in, I mean, obviously, her last few knockouts were with that crazy head kick that changed the world.
Yeah.
Like, everyone saw that.
She beats down Priscilla O'Hara.
And then Chikagian.
She beats down Chikagian, crucifix.
But, again, I mean, her Joanna fight was close. Joanna gave her a better fight than she did.
She was more durable than the rest. Let's just give her that. We'll give Jennifer Maia that. She was more durable.
Right. So if you compare it, if you go back and watch the last Joanna fight, which I believe was at 150, was it 125? The last Joanna fight at 125 versus this fight, you'll say, oh, wait, no. Joanna outfought Maia very, very
yeah.
much.
Very familiarity, though.
Right.
Those two have fought each other plenty of times in Muay Thai competitions. And
props to Maia, though. I mean,
yeah.
You're going in there and basically you have nothing to lose. You're going against a legend, one of the best women fighters ever, one of the best fighters ever. They're already talking about super fights because you clean out your division. They're already talking about the next.
There's no one at 125 for Shevchenko outside of Andrade. Let's see what Andrade has got.
That's what I'm waiting for that fight for sure. I think Andrade, she can, if you can see the advantages that Maia had in the grappling, where Andrade's just a solid grappler, but she definitely gets those.
This is one thing. Like, have we seen a lot of counter punching from Shevchenko?
No.
She moves forward with the Muay Thai.
Right.
Well, you haven't seen like her having to fight off her back foot other than grapple. She gets pressed and grappled, but she has like Andrade's style will be a forward boxing, boxer, wrestler, brawler style.
And she's got the power to knock you out with a body shot.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Chikagian. We'll go into her fight a little bit later. What Chikagian did to Cynthia Calvillo, who was the talk of the town. Everybody's saying she should have been in that main event, right? We kind of talked about it again with these rankings. But Chikagian shut her down 2-3 weeks earlier, and Andrade hits her with a body shot, and she basically taps. She walks away. I'm done.
The thing I see, I mean, but then Andrade is short. Like you would think that. How does Shevchenko counteract that forward pressure brawler style? You duck under the big right hand, take her down with that body lock, what she was taking down Maia with the whole fight. Puts Andrade on her back.
Andrade is a strange body type too. Like you said, she's shorter.
She's strong.
She's strong. She's down to the ground. Your angles are going to be off. Her angles are going to be way off. There's nobody built like Andrade is in that division. She's naturally, or not naturally, but she was fighting 115 so long because she's so short. So it's gonna be a strange puzzle for Valentina. Which I like to see the opening line on that one. If
I'm saying about a plus,
if they're gonna give me Andrade at her odds, I'm laying down on Andrade all day.
Well, I'm saying Shevchenko is going to be about a -300 to 400, probably about a -400. Probably a little bit, more favored than she was in the Joanna fight.
But if you're gonna give me, what was my plus 800?
No, you're not getting Andrade at that.
If you give me plus 300, 350, I'm taking Andrade in that fight.
Yeah.
I'm taking Andrade in that fight. Because you know what? Every great one falls, right? Only one walked away with that 0.
Yeah.
We won't talk about that.
So anything we learn from this fight is just make the Andrade Shevchenko, and then let's get Nunes Shevchenko 3.
And Maia was game. Maia was definitely game.
Yeah.
She's proved that she's at that world class level. Just not. There's levels to everything, right? There's, like Jordan Burroughs says, there's levels to this.
Well, she did a lot better than I thought she would, if I'm being honest.
I
thought she wouldn't make it outside of
Twitter.
two.
If you read Twitter, even our tweets, like you think Maia was winning the fight, but it's just because the expectations were down.
She was game.
Right.
All right. What do we
on.
got next?
We got the next one. We know that's the next one. The one I've been waiting to talk about. Your favorite
jiu-jitsu technique.
My spirit animal. Oh no.
No, you're ahead, man. How can you forget your most favorite thing?
It always goes back.
The oil check.
Checking the oil.
We'll talk about
Checking the oil.
Our favorite.
When you get that surprise you didn't know you'd like. And you're disappointed at the amount of fingers that were checked in?
Yeah, you gotta make sure. You gotta check that loop.
How was the
Going to Real Raw Dogs?
Wow, so she minus 1,600 there, huh?
Plus 900. Give me Andrade at plus 900, please.
Yeah,
Thank
no
you.
way. Not gonna happen.
Right.
Oh, we
There
do
it is.
have it.
That's
We
what I'm talking
do
about.
have
My
it.
spirit
You're
animal.
right. Okay.
The Real Raw Dogs. He did not pull out. He may not have made weight.
He did not pull out.
But he won the weigh-ins. He maybe figured something out there.
He's not gonna have to pay a lot of taxes.
He's not going to pay a lot of taxes.
Don't worry about Uncle Sam.
He was the star of the weigh-ins. Everybody watching those weigh-ins live was commenting, when's Perry coming out? When's Perry going to do? What's he doing? What's he this? He's live tweeting his weigh-in.
He comes out to Halo.
He got to eat burgers
by
all week.
accident, so he says.
Yeah.
I'm not
Singing every
convinced.
word.
I'm not convinced.
Singing every word to it.
That's a shower song.
I lost it here.
Play Fallout, by the way, great game.
Yes. He got to fight. He got to eat burgers fight week.
Yeah.
So he might have won. He might have won UFC 55.
He definitely did entertainment value. For sure.
Full screen here.
So we know obviously the story about Mike Perry's antics, his whatever you want to call it. The man can fight. He's tough. He throws heavy bombs. Especially in this like no crowd era, when you hear his punches hit, it's heavy. It's a thump. You feel it through the screen. The fact that he's not really with a camp, I mean, who knows what he really does? I don't live with the guy. I don't know what he's doing behind closed doors or what. But the reports is he's kind of training in his garage, hitting a punching bag and running. That's basically what he does for training. If he worked with somebody, his natural skill, Mike Perry could beat anybody. He could beat anybody. I would like to see him go down in weight if he could, but obviously
He's got to refine the technique a little bit. He's got to come up with some strategy.
because I know he toyed with going up to a middle. That's what he's talking about.
Well, that's what he's talking about now because he can't make the weight. He's like, I don't think I can do it. I'm sorry. I'm going to hang up the gloves. Dude, don't be saying that shit before you're about to fight. Like, come on.
You can't listen to Mike Perry when he says he's going to hang up his gloves. Mike Perry is just saying the first thing that comes to his brain. Similar to our...
He's about to be a dad. We
right.
hope it's his, because if not...
Oh,
oh, fuck.
It might have conceived at Mile High. Who knows?
You know, yeah. Well, he said that wasn't the club he joined. He didn't know what we were thinking. What other clubs he talking about?
Right,
First class?
Maybe. I don't know.
Economy? Maybe economy? No business? I don't know.
Mike Perry has his own club.
But what a round. What a first round, right?
He definitely took control. I thought he was going to end it right there. He had that with the rear naked, choked on Means a tough bastard. Tough man.
The dirty bird with the dirty bows, man. I think, Tim Means, obviously the more skilled fighter of the two. I think maybe the weight cut could have affected Perry.
Let's just be straight here, too. The whole fight, I was going hard for Mike Perry, hard all day, and you were all about Tim Means.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of the narrative of our life. I'm kind of the wild card, the mister. I like the flailing, the punches, the crazy.
You like the new shiny toy.
The new shiny toy.
I like the old one that's never let me down.
I like the more dangerous toy.
Yeah.
That's what. Give me the BB gun, right? That's what I want. Give me that toy that I'm not supposed to have. It's a little bit dangerous. Whereas you got this tried and true toy, the one,
Give me the slingshot.
Give me the-
It's less maintenance, same amount of damage as a BB
right.
gun.
Right. Give me the fancy one, bells and whistles. So.
Tim Means, jab city, long range. Perry struggled with it. When Perry got in, he did some damage. The first round, he had some great grappling back and forth, put Means in a bad spot. But that second and third round, Means just started to...
Yeah, the second
ship
and third,
started to sail away.
Definitely. The third, I think you could, in some cards, give that to Perry. There was a back and forth, and we kind of talked about it during the fight.
I mean, there were at least two good dirty bows in that third round.
But if you look at the power of the strikes, again, we kind of talk about the quality of the quantity of the strikes. Like, Means is probably getting 2 or 3 in there, but the ones that Mike Perry was hitting. That's why I hate the term
you're
significant
talking
strike.
double significant strikes.
Yeah, what does that mean, though? Like
double total strikes.
Like they didn't count that oil check as a
the
significant
takedown
strike.
was good, and the close finish was Mike Perry's moment. He was so close, but
he had a couple big overhands that he laid in that second and even in the third round too, where it went back. If I was scoring the card, honestly, it was Perry 10-9-1, Means 10-9 in round 2, and I could see Perry possibly getting that round 3. I could see. I mean, it's not like I don't understand why Means won the fight. Like, he definitely was there. They're going back and forth. They exchanged. But he did land more. Obviously, the numbers don't lie. He had landed more strikes. I think the shots that Perry were hitting were hard. But Perry was wearing it worse, too.
The damage was there,
That's definitely... But if you have a scarred face, you're going to bleed.
29-28, Tim Means. I mean, that's what I've got. 30-27, though, one judge. What are they smoking?
That's probably the same guy that scored Felder that win.
Yeah, what the
We don't need to start on these judges. And that's the worst part about this. That I feel in judging, they need to at least display the scores after every round. I don't like the fact that it's a mystery what's going in there. A fighter, and we've seen it. Like I said, this happened with Paul Felder and Dos Anjos. Like fighter, Paul Felder gets announced a winner on a card. He's like, what? He looks around like he doesn't believe that he won. Mm-hmm. So like a fighter should at least know what that judge is saying. If you're not going to change the scoring, if you're not going to change the round system, whatever, these major changes, if you just have to display what you scored that round, a fighter knows what he's facing. He knows or she has to do, and it's clear what the next game plan is going to be. You don't have to worry about his corner saying, "Oh, you're winning this. You got this." You don't worry about this and giving you bad info because the info is right there for you. And there is some, I don't know off the top of my head who they are, but there is some federations that do that. That display.
Well, it goes back to Perry's best interview of all time, right? Where he's talking about that. He's like, the corner's just like, you gotta go. He's like, fuck you, you go. I'm trying not to get hit.
Hey, his fiance though, she was giving some coaching this time. She learned a few things. She was saying a few things.
Yeah, she's getting a lot better.
Yeah, so she who knows?
She's on the fast track. But think about the stomach tats, man. I didn't realize they were that similar. These guys have broed up before the fight.
Do we want to talk about Mike Perry's walkout music?
Yeah, definitely. Beyonce Halo. Apparently, he says that wasn't what he asked for.
But he knows it word for word.
He was singing it all the way through, dancing to it. But he's the type of guy also that if that is the truth, he's just going to go with it too.
Maybe he's turning a new leaf. He wants to talk about the Halo now. He's been accused of some stuff. Everybody knows. Unless you've been living under a rock, he's been accused of some not so good things. Maybe he's virtue signaling with the Halo.
I don't really know. I don't know if he's really accused. I mean, there's video of this stuff. And if you just go by his Instagram post, it's there. Mike,
what do we think about that 4-pound over the weight weigh-in of Mike Perry?
Well, I loved his response to it. I mean, I think he won the system. He got to eat burgers all fight week, and then he didn't have to pay as much taxes.
Yeah,
like isn't that the American dream? Eating burgers and not
how much of that
taxes?
extra 30% was he gonna get?
Yeah,
he's paying that higher tax bracket. He's getting fucked.
Yeah, and that means probably going to pay the extra tax now.
Yeah,
he won.
Well, what's next for Mike Perry?
Whew, good question.
Who knows with Mike Perry? I know in that embedded he was talking with Buckley about a fight, but Buckley seems like he has an eye on somebody he wants to fight really bad.
Yeah.
I don't know where Dana's White's head with Mike Perry because Dana White is kind of like drop people for less.
Yeah.
For way
what
less.
What about Neil Magny? Perry Magny.
That's a good fight for Neil Magny.
I don't know. But I think Magny probably deserves a higher ranked opponent at this point.
I mean, what's Perry like 7-7?
Let's get Lawler back. Let's let Lawler sort his shit out.
That's the fight that was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that.
Let's get Lawler.
I think Magny's a little bit above Perry at this point.
Yeah.
I love Mike Perry as much as possible, but he has not gotten those wins to get a fight like Magny. Magny's actually being kind of overlooked pretty hard with the fights that he's had. He just pieced up Lawler pretty bad in this kind of. So I would say that's kind of out of Mike Perry right now. But yeah, a Lawler fight would be really awesome. Anything other than that, I don't.
Maybe we can get a Nate Diaz at 170 if he wants to come
fight,
back.
That'd be a nice fight.
Those two will sell a fight. Those two will sell a fight
all day, every day. Even a Masvidal.
Yeah.
Even a Masvidal would be a nice fight for him too. He kind of brought that up at one point too.
Masvidal's got too much stock. Masvidal, yeah.
Yeah, but
Masvidal Covington, that's what's going to go down.
I think Masvidal would take that fight because I think Masvidal knows he'll win that fight, and that fight will sell, and he'll get more attention, and his stock stays high. A fight with Kobe, he might lose.
Man, I think maybe Perry was in a better position before this showing for that fight, though.
I mean, they could just talk their way into that fight. Are you not going to watch that fight?
I mean, I'll watch it.
Yeah. We watch every damn fight. But I'm saying,
I don't think it's a fight to make.
If I know I'm getting Jorge Masvidal and Mike Perry, I'm glued. You're tweeting that fight. I'm not. But no, there's no way. There's no way nobody would want to see that fight. And I said, Jorge's smart about who he's picking these times. Even that Diaz fight, I think he knew. Okay, Nate's been on the cage for a while.
I mean, Nick Diaz has been talking about coming back.
I don't think Nick Diaz is ever coming back. He would have been back already. He's been talking about it. He's been training. We'll see.
What about Tim Means? I mean, I don't really have an interest to see him. I mean, it is what it is. He's kind of
I think Tim Means
run of the mill at this point.
His next fight is going to be about somebody that we probably don't know right now, but it's on the up and coming, and they're going to try to build somebody up. He's going to be the gatekeeper, and he might win that fight. Don't get me wrong, but I think Tim Means is going to be a guy that has a name, and whoever he fights next, we probably don't even know their name right now.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to. You wanna
We
talk
can
about
just skip
Caitlyn
this next.
fight?
We can just skip this one.
Should we just pant at the microphone?
We can just go.
Not really much to talk about, except it's pretty awesome that she had 69 strikes.
It reminded me of
All significant.
It reminded me of the Forrest Gump movie and the scene where your mama sure does care about your education.
Yeah, that. Or I was watching.
Significant strikes over here.
It's something they're talking about during the broadcast too. Like Chukagian throws at air, and she has that noise, and I think she fools people.
This is the problem with this fight. Is like we knew what we were going to get out of Caitlin Chukagian. The Calvillo that showed up was just not the Calvillo that we
Not the one that
expected to
fought
show
this
up.
guy, for
Yeah,
sure.
where is the Calvillo that's this little bulldog that goes in and goes at like she chose to stand at range with somebody
taller,
lankier. Like she didn't even attempt many takedowns. Was it? She was eating that front kick when she tried to get in.
One in the third round, she tried. She tried 4. I don't remember 4 takedowns.
But you had 2 rounds to feel those punches. Know you could take those punches and didn't choose to eat any to press the action to the cage and get the fight to the ground.
I think that's the trap in fighting somebody like Chukagian, where her strikes don't hurt. So you might be able to be willing to sit there. I mean, the strike advantage really wasn't that big.
Yeah.
If you look at it, so you might be there. And in fact, we saw it yesterday that Calvillo actually landed more strikes in round 1. More significant strikes and everything. So when someone like Chukagian, who's throwing a volume of strikes, or even Colby's another guy who's like that, who throws a ton of strikes that don't really hurt you, you're willing to take it, but it's costing you the fight.
Yeah.
Like you have to, if you're gonna do something like that, you have to say, okay, I'm gonna finish this fight. And she never did nothing to go down there. And I never thought Calvillo had a shot to finish the fight anyway.
Yeah. This was a match, you could have used to make your dinner, pour your next beer, take a shit.
Yeah, this
Get ready for the next one.
Yeah,
we can move on now.
You're watching fights from 4:30 in the afternoon at like 10 o'clock. This is on there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit down.
You're flipping to see who's winning your favorite college football game.
This one.
All right.
Move of the night. The move of the night.
All right.
Sad to see legends fall. I remember back when I first started watching MMA, Shogun was a bad motherfucker. Like you didn't want to say anything wrong about that guy. You didn't want to be in the wrong, other side of the cage with that guy. He was gonna kick your head off. Thinking back to the wars like Rampage and even the Machida fights where I think he beat Machida both times, and to see him now, and not that Paul Craig's anything else, but just that's not the same Shogun that I remember.
Yeah, I kind of think this fight went the way you expected it to go outside the old check. That was a nice little surprise that he slipped in there.
Yeah, no, it's been a while since I've seen one of those in a fight. It's old school stuff. I guess old school rules. He brought back. But I think that's ultimately his downfall because that woke Paul up. What do you say after the fight? Usually people buy me dinner first.
Yeah.
With an awesome Scottish
But
accent.
you got to give it up to Shogun. The first round, Bear Jew has dominant jiu-jitsu in this weight class, and Shogun still showed that he's capable. He had some reversals, some good stuff from the ground, but
you're never gonna put Shogun in a position he hasn't been.
Yeah.
But as you get older, you start taking those shots. The timing's off. They always say it all the time. The mind's there, but the body's not. You're trying to make that move, but everything's a second shorter, even a tenth of a second shorter. And in fight game, a tenth of a second, that's your night.
Yeah,
it's done.
Unfortunately, the night ended. Paul Craig, as they say in Brazil, when somebody mounts you from the back, flattens you out, smashing the chicken. That's what happened. The chicken got smashed.
Smashing the chicken.
Was on the wrong end of it.
I'm gonna remember that.
Taps
one.
the strikes.
Taps the strikes.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have the Portuguese.
That's probably the most heartbreaking thing. Not the fact that Paul Craig got his oil checked. That's maybe the coolest thing of the night.
Such a killer in pride taps the strikes. It's been through
a man like Shogun tapping to strikes.
Shootbox, Vale Tudo, things of that nature.
The brawls that he's been in.
Right, to tap.
To a strike. To a strike is something.
Yeah.
Hopeful. I never tell a person when to retire. That's not newer in my place. They're in there. They're putting their body on the line. But
yeah, the courage it takes to get in that octagon as it is, right?
Right. I don't know his personal situations. I'm not in his pockets. But Shogun, legacy-wise, you're set. You don't need to fight no more. If you're doing this for something, hopefully somebody can hook him up with something he can do in the fight game.
Well, yeah, because we're thinking this is probably the end of the road for Shogun, at least in the UFC. Dana said he wants him out. He's got 2 more fights on his contract, but Dana wants him to.
He's getting that Anderson Silva treatment.
It seems like Bellator is shying away from signing people like that too. That they're not. Yeah. So
Coker says he likes the direction his business is going. Has no interest in
that's their path.
Anderson.
That's their path too. And Verdum. He passed on Verdum.
I think they're trying to get out of that business. Bellator's got that reputation of picking up the UFC's
Yeah,
used
man, and
toys.
they got some good young guys. Like there's some guys that are on the rise. They have some top level guys too. We watched those fights the other night. But as far as Shogun goes,
Well, he had 3 fights, including this one, or maybe not including this one left on his contract. I think I saw.
2 more.
So he's got 2 more.
But I don't. Dana's gonna try to talk him out of it. I don't have any interest in seeing him fighting.
Let's buy him out.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got next?
All right, let's go. Let's go back a page. It's gonna.
I think we got Roy Val and Moreno up next.
Oh yeah, the man event of the prelims.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second here, guys. This wants to chug along here. Well, I wonder if I can.
Look at that. The man in all his glory. And his sweat.
That's old school days too. That's not recent.
Can I go? All right.
There's people in the crowd. So that's probably not 2020. It's UFC 2. We're on UFC 4 now.
Wow.
That's some while back.
I mean, when Bruce Buffer
Was
wear
that
all black.
This fight here,
The Roy Val Moreno.
There we go.
There we go. The one that we were hoping to be the fight of the night, which I think was going that route.
I mean, what did we learn here? You're going to have to fucking kill Roy Val to get him out of there.
Right.
The dude kept fighting with his shoulder out of his socket. Looks like he was starting to get the better of that transition towards the end. I would say Moreno, pretty much had his way in the first round, but
Shout out to Raw Dog. Anybody
Yeah.
named Raw Dog's on my side. I was really high in Royval going into this fight. I thought he was going to get it done by sub. When I saw it start to go to the ground and grab it, I thought this is right where Royval wants it to be. I knew that this was going to be a lightning in a bottle type. 2 guys that's moving nonstop. 2 guys that are fast, have endless gas tanks. Royval is hyper. I talked about it the other day. Like,
Yeah, he's on something.
I want to drink what he's drinking.
Yeah.
Like, he does not stop moving at any point. His fight before earlier we saw with the sick transitions and the different from sub to sub flawlessly.
the question was, how was he going to do at the bottom of a takedown, though? Because, we hadn't really seen that. Like, it scrambles for him.
And a step up.
Create scrambles.
This is a big step up in competition, too, for him.
Sure.
And he didn't look out of place.
No.
His body kind of tapped out on him. If you look at he had more strikes.
But how about the twister that fucking Brandon Moreno just set with for fucking 2 whole minutes? Like,
Yeah.
it was there for the taking. Maybe he didn't know it was there, but I don't know if Roy Val knew it was there, but there was a twister just waiting to happen.
Yeah, the twister is something I think that, it's obviously becoming more popular now, but I think most people don't train for it. They don't try
Yeah.
it. Only stupid white belts like me.
They're not like you trying to set it up at all costs. Fuck the rear neck
Yeah.
and fuck double hooks.
No,
I just want that one hook and I want to
twister,
twist you.
'cause I want to do that.
And I need
Thank
Sensei
you,
to
Eddie
see it.
Bravo. Yeah.
That's at least a stripe.
Right. But yeah, so like I totally think, and maybe Moreno just did not see it. Again, they're in that cage. You've been in a comp and like there's things there. Everyone's like, you got this, go for that. And you just don't, you get
But
it.
it's as much as I was high on Roy Val, like I'm happy Moreno won the fight. Like I like Moreno a lot. He's a good dude. It's hard not to root for him. So I'm happy to see him getting.
Again, it might have been a
getting a
bit
shot.
early for Royval too. He took a big jump up. I don't think he's done. I think his future is brighter than Perez's.
I agree.
Which they might be the next fight, going
let's make
forward.
that fight.
I like to see. I think he has more of a ceiling than I think Perez is what he is. I don't know what scale he could pick up. I just think Royval needs seasoning. Maybe more opponents like that can like counteract his grappling. That's so good, and put him in an uncomfortable situation like he was in.
Yeah.
And my guy and went out with a guy like Perez. I think puts him right back. If he, Moreno, you got Moreno Figueiredo going up next month. If he does fight Perez upcoming soon, the next 3-4 months, he would be next in line for that title. I don't see anybody else to jump him in the line.
Yeah. Future looks good for the Raw Dog.
Right. Yeah. Anytime you raw dog, right? We raw dogs don't pull out.
Yeah. COVID's the least of your worries.
Yeah.
Want to move on to?
Let's move it.
Buckley.
Let's go.
Oh, there he is.
Here we go. Hopefully he's somewhere in a Wendy's drive-thru right now with a
Celebrator.
package of cookies.
So it's been a crazy 5-6 months with Joaquin Buckley.
Yeah, gets finished by Holland.
That
But comes out guns
to him.
blazing against Holland. Looks good for a bit.
He was game with Holland for sure, but had that highlight reel where he got knocked
Looks
out.
like his whole top row of teeth got knocked across the
Yeah.
stage. White mouthpiece, maybe not the smartest.
Yeah, even my son yelled night night when that
Yeah.
happened. So that was my first introduction to Buckley. Then he has the Impa fight. Everyone that the whole world is seeing has never watched a UFC fight in their life.
And it's a good back and forth fight.
It's a good back and forth fight. I was high in Impa going in there. I was all in Impa.
We were seeing Impa strike looking good.
In my DraftKings, my fantasies, my bets, my just personal picks, I was all over Impa. Again, my introduction to Buckley was that knockout loss to Holland. And I thought this guy goes for gusto, goes for broke, but he doesn't. He's not going to hit it. He's just not there yet.
Yeah.
and then he hits the greatest knockout probably ever.
He needs to come up with his own name for that kick.
Nah, I don't even. Yeah, the Mansa. It's called the new Mansa.
The new Mansa.
You know, you get the Von Flu, right? Because that choke, and it's basically becoming the OSP choke. Call that the Mansa.
I mean, hell of a knockout.
He probably should never try to do that again. Because
No.
he was in a terrible position to pull when he pulled that off.
And then Jordan Wright, you know, his karate stance is only effective for so long. Definitely probably not the most ideal, you know, striking style against a guy that's going to rush you like that.
And not a lot of head movement out of Wright.
Yeah.
He stands up pretty straight up.
Chinny
for sure, who's wide open. And Buckley is going to hunt to knock your head off.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a different thing, but he does remind me of a Mike Tyson type, where I'm a little short bulldog. I'm powerful as hell, and I'm going to put that power into you.
I mean, this fight goes, it's Buckley adding another, you know, highlight to his reel.
Yeah, and then we pretty much, he wouldn't say his name. He got Joe Rogan to say it out loud. Kraus, they seem to have it back and forth online. They're not happy with each other from the same area. They're talking. So I think that's the fight.
Yeah, you know, you got two sides of the story there. Two contrasting sides of the story. You got Kraus saying this guy is combative. He gets kicked out of every gym he goes to. And Buckley's like, dude's just trying to hold a brother down.
It's probably a little bit of both.
Make the fight. Let's see what happens, you know.
I'm guessing that.
I've got Buckley taking out Kraus.
Buckley.
You know, I'm calling it.
I bet against Buckley once until he stops icing people. I'm not betting
Jordan
against
Wright,
him.
as far as he goes, I think he's, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't have really much to say on Jordan Wright.
Yeah.
He didn't show, I mean, again, 18 strikes in 2 rounds?
I mean, he made it to the second round, 18 seconds in. But I think that was another big takeaway. Jordan Wright probably should not have been going back into that fight.
Right.
Like, you know, in between that round, he wasn't responding to his corner.
Right. He
didn't have his wits about him.
Right.
He didn't know where the fuck he was at.
Out towards the end of round 1. So it's probably a first round finish in that fight. And I think, he came back out. You might go back if there was some way to measure where his brain was at. Like, I don't think he was there because they got 18 seconds. It was over.
You guys want to move on to any of these other undercard
Let's
fights?
see. Let's just touch base on that. I mean, Shevchenko, Lepsky, like,
she looked better than she has.
Yeah, her ground game improved a lot. She got out there, got the finish.
I was high on Lipsky.
But it was just like, like Lipsky, I thought would have a better ground game. Like, I thought she would control the ground game.
And Antonina controlled
totally opposite.
that ground.
What you saw, like, on the
feet.
feet, Lipsky was getting the better of Shevchenko. And Shevchenko took the fight to the ground and control. It was like fucking, I don't know, Freaky Friday, but on Saturday.
I think the biggest takeaway from this fight is after, in her interview, Valentina said she is more than willing to fight her sister if she got to that level. And there's never been 2 sisters or siblings at all fighting in the UFC.
Well, the Diaz brothers.
Have they fought each other?
Well, no, they haven't.
That's what I mean. I remember, when I was younger, maybe like high school, they had the Klitschko's.
Yeah.
And I always wanted them to fight each other. They never would. They're basically the only 2 had a competition for each other. And they never do it. So that would be pretty cool.
You've got the Cochet brothers now.
Yeah.
Fedor and his brother.
Right. Yeah. The Dawkins is
Diaz brothers, Dawkins
in the same weight class.
Yeah.
There's never been a line that they're in the same weight class. You know, you have teammates that won't fight each other. I mean, Daniel Cormier hated cutting weight, and he would cut weight so he wouldn't have to fight Cain Velasquez.
Yeah.
So
I mean, things get weird. Brazilians don't even want to fight Brazilians.
Right. So the fact that they're willing to go at it, I would love to see that.
Yeah, but not so much going on with that fight. Rodriguez Dalby, another kind of a grindy fight that I'm not happy about the decision. I had it 29-28 D-Rod.
Look at this. Look at the strike numbers.
You know, yeah.
I don't know where this came from. We're talking about it last night as well. Like, DraftKings is not the be-all, end-all for sports. But if you look at the end of a fight and the winner of the fight outscored the loser by less than the fight bonus. So, for instance, in DraftKings, the winner who wins the fight gets 30 points just for winning the fight.
Via decision.
I'm saying no matter what, at least 30 points for winning that fight. Right? If you win a fight, you're at least going to have 30 points no matter what happens. If you win and you have less than 30 points
margin
than that person you beat, I don't think you won that fight. And he had
For example, Dalby wins, scores 55. D-Rod loses, scores 41.
Right.
14-point difference.
So the only reason you outscored him because they happened to give you a decision.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot going on in the fight.
Very boring fight. I mean, Dalby had some shots that rocked D-Rod, but D-Rod
that's definitely
more volume,
a picture of
more power.
Both these guys because they have way more tattoos now.
Yeah.
We kind of talked about that. D-Rod's chest is all caged out. You got the angel's wings. Dalby kind of looks like the kid from Sixth Sense grown up.
But skinnier.
Well, if he fought, he'd be skinny.
Yeah.
And we can talk about that later. But, there really was not... The problem with Rodriguez was he didn't do anything to make you have to give him the fight, and that's why you leave it to the judges' decisions. And I can go on and on for hours about judges.
Yeah, we're moving on.
All right, let's move on to. Do we want to touch on the Contender Series?
We can talk a little about it. This week was the last one for a while because they're about to kick off the Ultimate Fighter. It was a pretty uneventful night other than the finish at the end of the main event.
Yeah.
I mean, we were talking about it as it's going on. I didn't think anybody was going to get a contract because there was no super impressive performance.
Yeah, you thought like nobody was going to get one, but they need people.
The opener had some, Lombardo?
Leonardo.
Yeah, she got Hackett to the ground and kind of pounded the shit out of her.
Yeah, experience wins that fight.
Yeah, Hackett was sharper in the stand-up, but Leonardo was definitely bigger. She's definitely thicker than her, and got her to the ground. And
Hackett's ceiling's much higher. She just needs to put in a little bit more work, refine that grappling ground side of things. You know, as far as Tucker Lutz, Blackledge, God, what a underwhelming fight.
It reminded me. It was along the lines of like an Usman GSP win, where I'm gonna
both guys talking a big game, and then Tucker Lutz coming out there. I would say playing it more on the conservative side. Sure, Blackledge not doing enough to keep him off of him. Yeah, I mean, an underwhelming fight. And
if I remember correctly, Lutz did not get a contract, right?
He did.
He did.
Yeah.
He did get a contract.
He did.
Gloria De Paula and Paulina Macias, the pain in the ass, Pita. I was high on her going in there with her grappling. I actually saw in one of her amateur fights, she was grappling a woman so hard that she puked in the middle of the fight, and she won TKO via making her opponent puke.
But that's all she had to offer. She had that one over-the-head judo toss, and then pretty much DePaula had her way.
Oh, that's another little note. Pauline Macias trained judo with Ronda Rousey. Like, she's that level of judo, so I was really high on her. DePaula, great striker, lanky, has good reach, and I knew she'd have the striking advantage, but I also was watching some film, some people that she fought that grappled her, I was able to get her down.
But it was like, Pauline got it to the ground, but didn't know what to do. Was lost at that point.
She'd get her down and couldn't advance.
Okay, here's my judo throw, but now what?
It's kind of ironic because that's kind of what Ronda Rousey had. Like, she'd get you down.
At least Ronda Rousey would get it to the armbar.
She had the arm. But again, the competition is a lot higher nowadays.
Yeah.
Like, nowadays, women's MMA, these chicks are killers. So you got to have more than one tool.
And then, Oscar Cota, restaurant owner, called in on short notice, hey, we need to fill a space against a Diaz protege.
He got his Tinder profile picture.
Who sounds exactly like Nate and Nick Diaz when he talks.
Yeah, then you got Nick Maximoff, who was big, undersized. Like, Cota is a true super heavyweight. 265 at least?
Oh, yeah.
Big guy. And we're not talking about jacked. We're talking about,
Terrible fight IQ.
Nick Maximoff walking around, look, 5'11", 195. They're fighting that at a catchweight. I think Maximoff was at like 205 for the fight.
Maximoff comes in at 209, I think.
It looked it looked like a man wrestling a bear.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like going there. But that being said, Maximoff, the big grappling background.
Yeah. But I mean, didn't even really have to work. He got the one takedown. First round, he gets it.
Boy, it was I haven't seen a size discrepancy like that.
Kimura Training Center. Interesting.
Since way back, like the original days when there were no weight classes and you had like sumo wrestlers fighting Hoist Gracie. Like, you didn't see like this fight discrepancy ever since they started like sanctioning this stuff. And all elevation. That's his name. He liked to stay low on the ground. It's funny. The name of elevation. But yeah, he basically would just try to put his weight on Maximoff. And to his credit, Maximoff really kind of like sold jiu-jitsu there. Like, that's what it's about, right? Taking the bigger guy down, using leverage.
I mean, we need to see more Maximoff. I think Dana did the right thing. Come to the Ultimate Fighter. Show us what you got.
Right.
Like, you went against a restaurant owner, that gave you a takedown in the first round.
And Maximoff should say ended up in the hospital after this fight. Yeah. I don't know.
He said he wasn't feeling good all day. Yeah. And then I think he just blew his load here, man. Like, that adrenaline dump is real.
He deserved extra points for fighting a guy so big, though. You just don't see that anymore. Yeah. And so that was without. I actually had Cota in this fight for that size difference. I thought it was just going to be too much, but Maximoff actually proved me wrong. Yeah. And then we had the main event with the controversial ending.
All right, let me go back here.
Controversial, yeah. I think dude was still in it for sure. Goddard made the wrong decision, but we saw a lot of good stuff from JP.
Yeah, JP buys. It's Baez, right? Baez. South African fella. He
married to Cheyenne.
Jacob Silva's kind of a right up my alley, reckless. I'm gonna come at you, firecracker, throw everything I got at you as hard as I can, and try to get you out of that fight. Whereas Baez is more of a technical. I'm gonna be kind of like what he did, take you down to the ground.
Yeah, but Baez is definitely a submission hunter. He's definitely submission over position. He scrambles. He's got transitions, but he's trying to get the finish. puts himself in bad spots sometimes, and I think he just worked out for him.
So going over the finish, Bays has Silva in a guillotine around near the fence. Kind of hard to see Silva's face, what's going on, and it looks like he goes out.
Looks like his legs start to go limp for a second.
He looks like he went night-night. He looked asleep, and Goddard dives in there and breaks it up. Yeah. Now, he obviously was wide awake. He was fine afterwards. He could have been trying to sell that for whatever reason, because, sometimes fighters, I'm going to tell that I'm knocked out a little bit more. I'm going to try to do whatever it may be. But he definitely was not out. Now, he was in terrible position. I don't know how much time was left in the round.
6 seconds.
So he would have been out of the round. He definitely would have been out of the round. But on the flip side, there was nothing in that first round that made me think that he's going to come back in round 2 and win that fight.
No, Baez was controlling the fight.
But I'm Jacob Silva on Wednesday morning. I'm pissed off because I did not get to go out. I didn't tap out, and I ended up losing a fight that I trained my whole life for. I have a chance to go to the UFC.
And you go back and watch it a few times. It does look like his knees are starting
it totally looks like he's knocked out.
The Sandman's got him.
Like he totally looks like he is asleep, done. But he pops up and he's totally fine after he gets out of it.
Yeah.
But I don't. Goddard's a veteran official too. I don't know why he didn't ask him, "Are you okay?" A thumbs up, whatever it may be. I don't. Yeah. I mean, Goddard was in the main event last night, wasn't he?
Yeah. So how'd we do? Let's talk about some of the bets and wagers we made on these two things, the Contender Series.
Yeah, we can go back.
Our
and go
whiskey
over that.
whiskey and wagers.
Do you really want to talk about that?
Not a good night for Contender Series.
Oh, Contender Series, I actually did all right. As far as what I actually laid money down on, I had Lutz, I had Macias, but I also had Maximoff, and I had buys at the end. Now, every parlay I laid down did not hit because every parlay I had Chelsea Hackett in it.
So you played a little bit more than I did. I played a single parlay. It bust. Blackledge busted it. Had Leonardo, Blackledge, Macias, Maximov, and Baez. So I lost 2 on that parlay.
Like when I'm laying down a bet, I'll definitely try to cover myself by just picking heads up. A safer bet for sure to make sure I'm not losing rent money. What's going on there? And then I'll throw together some parlays trying to get that big win. Have a little celebration money afterwards, feeling good after the fights. So I did pretty well, like I said, on the heads up picks, the heads up bets I did. And the parlays I'll try to play with a little bit and try to see how it goes. I'll treat it more like a fantasy lineup where I'm going to try to go, I'm going to try to pick this dog here and that dog here. Especially on a Contender Series fight, you have these favorites for sure, but you really have no idea what's going to happen when they get inside that cage in a Contender Series. Most of these people, even if you watch their amateur fights, they're fighting in cages on basketball courts, and again, they don't. Who knows who they're fighting against? Yeah. On the regional level, they're very careful about who they're picking in their fights, so they could look totally dominant, but who are they fighting? So it's really hard to pick and choose these. But yeah, how did you do on yours?
Like I said, I had the one parlay bust. Didn't I played it a little bit more risky. I went with the 5-leg parlay, choosing every fight who I thought was going to win. So it was busted Blackledge, and I lost to Macias. All the other picks I got, as far as last night goes, fantasy did okay. Placed pretty well in a couple tournaments. Took $20 home in Draftkings fantasy with my best lineup. As far as straight bets, got the Tim Means underdog pick. Lost the Lipsky pick. Lost the Wright pick. So not as much luck for me on that end.
Yeah, I mean, I did pretty well. What really broke me down was
lost to Royval by sub prop.
The Royval prop got me down. Also, I had really high on Drew Gooden, right?
Jared Gooden.
Drew Gooden. Not basketball. We're not talking about basketball right now.
Yeah.
Jared Gooden. I was watching Night Train upcoming film or previous fights up to this point. He had fought like 7 times in 16 months or something like that. Beast of a guy coming in there against Joban, who basically has been out of fighting for about a year and a half, 2.
Yeah, he's
coming
been
off an injury.
Analyzing, he's at the desk.
So I thought it was kind of like, I'm going to give this guy a name to make a name out of him and go up there. And, he did hold his own. There were some good spots in there. He had some shots where he could have won the fight. Joban definitely beat him, but a lot of my parlays had Gooden in there. So that popped me for sure. But all in all, heads up. I had a couple nice little prop bets going in there. I had Figueiredo by sub. I had Valentina by decision and won. And that's the biggest ones I could remember.
Yeah. It was a tougher night on the sportsbook side, but a good night on the DraftKings side for me. The fantasy.
It was a break even type of night for me, which is always better, right? You definitely want to break even rather than spend.
All right, we guys want to jump into some future fights that are coming up here.
Yeah, let's get into the card next weekend.
Big boys.
Oh yeah.
My people.
Looking forward to this one.
Yeah, big boys.
All right.
Let's start it. Let's start it from the top.
Start from the top,
The
right?
Black
the
Beast.
guys on top of the page. The
Derek
star,
Lewis.
Always the star of the show.
Balls is hot.
Balls
My
are
balls
always
is
hot.
hot. Now,
He's always got to take a shit after the fight.
now, if you can give me every month a card with guys like Mike Perry one week and Derek Lewis the next week, I'm doing all right. That's gonna be a good month for me. A huge Derek Lewis fan. Highlight knockouts, ground and pound that you could feel through the screen for sure. Versus Curtis Blades, who's probably the most underrated fighter in the UFC.
Yeah, you look at him and it's his style. A lot of the casual fans, he's not going to be the most entertaining of the heavyweight division. Whereas on the other side, you do have one of the most entertaining of the heavyweight division.
In and outside of the cage.
In and outside of the cage.
He's the number one Instagram fighter in UFC for sure.
Supposedly, rumor has it he's got a pretty funny Instagram.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like he owns the IG. I have a My Balls is Hot T-shirt.
He's the meme king.
USA in this hoe. Like the guy is just a walking soundbite. But
he did that British Bulldog choke on me.
Yeah. But power out of this world.
Yeah.
Knock your head off. Actually has a win over Francis Ngannou. That fight wasn't the most impressive fight. It has actually beat Francis Ngannou.
But this is just a clash of styles here.
And that's going to be the kind of story of the night.
These guys have fought to fighters just like who they're standing across from. They have lost to.
Right.
So it's...
Curtis Blades is one of the top wrestlers in the heavyweight division, one of the top wrestlers in the UFC for sure. And that record 14-2 is even more impressive when you see the guys that he has beaten.
He's beat a who's who of the strikers.
Everyone, from Mark Hunt to Junior Dos Santos to Alistair Overeem.
But here's the thing, you look back at it and you look at how Francis Ngannou stood up.
I was going to get to that.
To Blades, he pressed the action, whereas those other guys sat back and let Blades work his game. Right?
But that 14-2 is really a 14-1 because those two losses are to the same guy.
Yeah.
Nobody else has been able to answer this guy. Volkov, another high-level striker, he's able to manhandle. Blades is a guy that I can get you out of there, but it's got to be early.
Isn't super aggressive like Ngannou, right? Ngannou's coming to take
Neither
your
is Derek
fucking
Lewis.
head off, but he can be.
That's not Derek Lewis.
He just gets on that horse a little bit too late.
Derek Lewis is more of a counter puncher than anything.
Yeah, but he can come out. So this is an interest. I have an interesting take on this. It goes obviously one of two ways. Blades goes out there, wrestles him, fucks him, as we like to say, ground and pounds him in second, third.
If you look at the track record of two fighters, I'd go into Curtis Blades again, who's faced a murderer's row of every top striker in the heavyweight division of all time. Iced people, and he's beaten them, knocked them out too. The ground and pound, whatever you want to call it, but he's in the fight. He's taller, he's bigger, he's got bigger reach than him. And if you look back, and his legs and arms reach, if you look back, I see Derek Lewis versus Daniel Cormier. And Daniel Cormier took Derek Lewis down without any challenge whatsoever. And Derek Lewis accepts takedowns. He just takes them. I don't even try to.
Maybe he knows that now. Maybe he can't do that.
You don't become a wrestler when you're that old.
You got to think, he wins this fight, he's got his title shot.
He doesn't want a title shot. That's what he said last time. And then he ended up getting one.
So, man,
I don't see there's any way that Derek Lewis, and I love Derek Lewis, one of my favorite fighters in the UFC, in all of fighting, has any path to victory in Curtis Blades other than a lucky shot. And this is the funniest thing ever because usually I'm the guy rolling the dice. I'm the heavy haymaker, the one-and-done type guy.
This is where we're going to flip it because I'm going to roll the dice on that guy.
Yeah, we're definitely flipping rolls here because I totally see Derek Lewis trying to throw a few crazy kicks early in the fight, not be able to get him just because he's not going to be able to reach at Curtis Blades. I'm sorry, Derek Lewis throwing the kicks, and Curtis Blades is keeping that distance, not letting him get near him, and getting him down to the ground and wearing him down.
I mean, he's a knockout king. His chest says it. The Black
He's
Beast. He's coming out.
His
Flying
highlight
knee.
reel says
if the flying knee doesn't hit, he's hitting the head kick. Blades is going to sleep.
I don't see Blades shooting right away. He's not going to go straight to a shot.
I think Lewis rushes him. He starts to duck. He gets askerned.
I don't think that he's gonna shoot early. I think Curtis Blades is gonna stay at distance. He's gonna use his jab. He's gonna keep Derek Lewis out and away from him. And the minute Derek Lewis tries to get inside, he's gonna grapple him. And he's gonna take him down.
But Derek Lewis, he hasn't been subbed, has he?
I don't see him getting subbed.
Derek Lewis? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So what happens if he doesn't ground and pound him out? If he doesn't,
he's gonna pound him out.
And his gas tank goes down. I know he trains at elevation, but his gas tank has been a little shoddy.
We don't want to talk gas tanks. We're talking about Derek Lewis.
Okay, if he's on his back, he's just chilling. His balls are hot.
Dude.
It's okay. He's not tired.
I could appreciate you trying to talk yourself into a path that Derek Lewis is going to win this fight.
His balls are hot. And he's got a shit.
But
don't get that confused with being tired.
If the odds weren't, Listen, it's heavyweight MMA, right? Heavyweight MMA, anybody can win that fight at any single time because those guys are big. They hit so hard. Anyone can hit that long blow. We've seen the craziest knockouts, the craziest upsets at heavyweights. Why? Because they're so big. It only takes a while. But if you're just trying to break down by strategy, past the victory, even resume, there's no way that Derek Lewis wins this fight. There's no way.
This is crazy.
Yeah. Like, I'm not going to bet this fight because I don't want to bet against Derek Lewis, for one. And two, like I said, heavyweight MMA.
I guess we'll have to see what the, you know what a good might be fight goes to decision prop.
I don't think it goes to decision. If you want me to call my shot, I'm saying Curtis Blades pounds him out on the ground in round 3. Possibly round 2.
I'm taking Lewis by knockout TKO.
That's the only way you're going to get
That's
it.
what I'm going. That's what I want.
If you're going to take Derek Lewis, that's the only way you're going to get it.
I think he does it in an athletic fashion, too.
He's got like 2 or 3 shots a day.
I think he gets him early.
He
Gets him early, rocks him, and it's
That's the way it goes down. Honestly, like all BS aside, that's the way it goes down. It's the only way it's going to happen.
So I'll take Derek Lewis, the Black Beast.
We're at odds right away. I'm going Curtis Blades, but again, I am not betting that fight.
All right, unfortunately, this one is off.
This fight actually got canceled.
Moicano's got COVID. We'll save that one for
that would be a good one. This one.
All right.
This is the one I've been waiting to talk about. Big boys.
This guy is 0 foot.
He's 0 foot tall, 0 inches. He's he's weightless.
Yeah. Trust me, he is not weightless.
He's levitating, man.
Yeah,
He's already got the advantage.
He's orbital. But Josh Parisian versus Parker Porter. I said it right. Parker Porter. It's a tongue twister to say out loud. Josh Parisian from the Dana White Contender Series. Big dude, right? Freaky athletic, though. He throws a lot of spinning shit. Spinning elbows, spinning back kicks. Freaky athletic. Got some power, too. He's going to put you to sleep. Parker Porter is kind of an up-and-down fighter. He's going to stand there with you. He could take a pounding. His last fight against
Parker. Let's just say it. Parker Porter's there to pad the record.
I mean, he's kind of that gatekeeper role in wrestling. They call it enhancement talent, right? Make my star look good.
Yeah. We'll get you a good check for your effort.
We'll get you a nice little check. You're gonna get a good train. I don't even think it's a good
it's interesting. Some of us are at odds with COVID, and some of us should be thankful for it. That's the way. That's why Parker Porter's here. He's to make Parisian look good.
Like I said, Parisian, he's fresh from the Contender Series, so Dana White wants to elevate these people. He wants to pick them up. He wants them to be the stars. He wants to show that my Contender Series is what makes fighters.
I'll go with the debutante here. Knockout.
I'm going Parisian to knockout, probably second round. I think Porter survives the first round. He has fought some time. Like
you see the way he's looking at you? I wouldn't say that.
I would. I'll grapple you. I'm not gonna box you. But he has fought like Gabriel Gonzaga. So he's fought some big guys, some big hitters. He fought Dawkins, who has some power, and he survived the first round. So I think he gets out of the first round. Maybe, Parisian hits one of those back elbows. I see this going, Parisian pressing him against the cage, and he loves to throw that spinning back elbow in that cage area. And I see that landing and putting Porter out.
Yeah, should be a quick fight.
Yes, this is the one I've been waiting to talk about.
Only one reason you're watching this
the
one.
The star of the show, Rachel Ostovich.
Gina Mazzani.
Yeah, there you go. Zoom in. Yeah, so Rachel Ostovich has got the distinction that she's hotter than the ring girls.
Which she is.
4-5 in the UFC. Now that Paige Van Zant's gone, she's kind of taken that role, I think, which is, I know, kind of disrespectful to say. Gina Mazzani is a tough chick.
Yeah.
She's a brawler. She'll get in there.
Big size advantage. She's bantamweight coming down.
And she
5'6", 68.5-inch reach.
She is a fighter, right?
Yeah.
Gina Mazzani's in the UFC to be a fighter, to win fights, to chase titles, to get dollars. Rachel Ostovich is talented. She has skill for sure. I don't want to totally throw her under the bus.
She's got a decent ground game.
Yeah, she's a good ground game. Her reach advantage, is not there. It's almost 9 inches on the reach advantage. 8 inches or whatever that number is. It's huge. Bigger fighter, Gina. I don't see any path for Rachel winning this fight. I don't.
Gina Mazzani wins. Ostovich opens OnlyFans account.
Yeah,
we all win.
Well, that's happening either way. Bruises and all. Bruises and all. That's gonna be the page name.
So
Bruises,
that's pretty much that one.
At OnlyFans at Bruises and all.
You guys want to move on to Miguel?
Let's go to this next one.
Yeah, let's go to
Bieza. High hopes for this guy.
This is one we've been arguing about already.
Yeah. I'm gonna take the dog in this one. Ten Takashi Sato.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Miguel Baeza.
Plus 170 underdog. I like it for the guy with experience going up against the the young
lion.
Say here the Caramel Thunder.
The Caramel Thunder.
That's a nice porn name.
I didn't even know that was his name. I would have totally picked him if I knew that beforehand. But 9-0, high level Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt. Right?
But doesn't use it often. He finishes fights on
right.
the feet.
And that what makes.
And this is where this fight's going to take place.
You think it's going to get down?
I think it's going to take place there, and I think Sato's going to catch him.
Sato's going to want to have it on his feet for sure, and I think that Baez is more than capable of beating him on his feet too. But if Sato is getting that upper hand, he has that tool in the back pocket to go, I'll take you to the ground, and I'm going to tap you out, where Sato does not have that.
It's going to be a good fight. This is my dog pick of the night. I'm going Sato. I liked him at plus 170. I'm going to take that. I think it plays out on the feet. I think both fight more than capable there, but I think Sato's going to get it.
I think we have a star in the making. Miguel Baez wins this fight by TKO. He beats Sato at his feet, again, keeping the black belt in the back pocket.
Yeah.
Oh, he's considerably taller.
He is.
He's bigger.
Bigger. But this guy's got,
16-3. I think it's his third, fourth fight in the UFC.
There's things but you have a guy who has a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and he has 6 KOs. Where do you beat him? Where do you beat that guy? He could beat you anywhere at any point. He kind of reminds me of a Burns type. That Gilbert Burns, he has that high-level jiu-jitsu, one of the best jiu-jitsu practitioners in the world, but he chooses not to do it. I'm going to stand up there and I'm going to beat you up standing up tall. Where Baez is kind of the same way. And I just don't see Sato getting in on him. Like 6'2 to 5'10. Not that big of a reach advantage, but that size is going to be he can be heavy around him.
So, I'll take Takashi.
Takashi 6'9".
Anthony Smith.
Okay, where do we start?
This one kind of saddens me. I like Anthony Smith. He's an awesome dude. Lionheart's like the perfect name for him. If you go back to that Teixeira fight where he just took that pounding and just kept coming back, told his corner, if you throw in a towel, you're fired. He's a tough dude. He's been in some wars. He's a veteran.
But how likely are you to recover from these beatings that you have taken?
It's not even just the beating. When he fought with Rakic, his last fight, and he was trying to do things. Like you'd see he was in that guard. He was getting grappled down to the ground. He's trying to hip escape. He's trying to strip. He's trying to do other stuff, and his body just was not responding. Like he's like, I know what to do. I know I got to stand up. I know how to stand up. But you could just see in his eyes, like his body was like failing him. He was just not there anymore. It wasn't Anthony Smith anymore.
If this can play out on the feet, obviously, Anthony Smith all day. But you're gonna have another big grappling heavy type dude, the brown bear, collecting his food for the hibernation to come here. He's gonna lay on top of Anthony Smith. I see this playing out like Anthony Smith's last fight. Like Rakic employed the grappling, stood on top of him.
Right.
And arguably, Devin Clark's a better grappler than
and even his last fight too. Anthony was talking about this, how it's tough to leave his family for camps now, and he likes being a dad, and that's not a bad thing. I have my own kids, but like you're not. If you're not 100% in the fight game, if you got 1 foot out, he does a lot of commentary work. He's good on the mic, on his analysis when he's breaking down fights, things like that. He's got a future there. For sure.
Maybe he can clip him with a counter off the cage or something as Clark's coming in.
It's got to be on the feet. Like it's got to be on the feet for sure. I don't see it happening. Like I said, during that Rakic fight, I just saw Anthony Smith trying to call on tools that he's used in the past and stuff that he's done before, and it just wasn't working. He wasn't getting the response that he wanted from his body.
You can kind of see when fighters are on the way out.
Right.
And I think that's Smith.
And Clark, on the other hand, a little bit younger, a little bit bigger, the 12-4 records, a guy that can try to build up. That 205 division is wide open now, right? It's, the king is left. He's moved on to heavyweight. So he might be one of those guys that are trying to build up there. He's, I could see him winning this fight and going on and fighting a guy like Johnny Walker or something like that, putting a fight like that together to try to raise it up. Because, again, that 205 division right now is wide open. It's wide open out of time he's hopping up for a title shot.
I didn't like it when I saw Anthony Smith back on this card. I'm like,
it's too soon.
You've taken 3 bad beatings. He had to fight the meth head that broke into his
we forgot about that one, right?
That was a fight for his life. Hear him tell it.
The Jones fight was not too beneficial for him. Like
Glover beats the brakes off of him, knocks his teeth out.
I think the Glover was the one that it was time to start thinking, maybe I don't want to do this anymore. Then maybe it's time for me to kind of transition to something else. Again, he's got a job. He's always on ESPN. He's doing the analyzing. He's breaking stuff down. And I just think that Devin Clark gets him here. It's actually he actually opened up as an underdog.
Let's see. What are the odds right now?
right now it's shifted. I know at first Evan Clark was underdog, so I guess a lot of people were like, what's going on here? And now it's down to 105, minus 105 for Devin Clark.
So yeah, it's flipped. A lot of money coming in on Clark.
So I'm rolling with that. Follow the money, right? Follow the money. I just think that Devin Clark gets this done.
Yeah, what do we got next?
I think now we're in the
prelim.
The prelims,
Yeah.
All right, this is
There's another one we're kind of disagreeing on.
another interesting one. Norma Dumont Viana, 4-1.
Shout out to Viana Brothers Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, shout out to Viana Brothers, 5'7", 145, 67-inch reach, 38.5. I think this is her UFC debut.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where Ashley Evans Smith's been around, right? Another big, strong. She's a bully type fighter. I'm gonna come forward. I'm bigger than you. I'm stronger than you. I'm gonna eat your stuff. You're gonna throw, and I'm gonna try to take you down and just pound you out, like wear you down.
But this is so. Ashley Evans Smith has had her fights. Is she normally fighting at bantamweight? That's what I'm wondering here.
I believe so.
Flyweight. So she had a fight with Andrea KGB Lee.
Yeah.
At flyweight, lost that decision. So So this is her coming up to 135, and Norma Dumont bounces back between that. I guess featherweight, 135 pounder, but they're similar size.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ashley Evans supposed to having trouble going down to 125. That's why she's staying up there. I think this is more of her natural weight. And Dumont's gonna want to grapple her. She's gonna want to grab a hold of her, get her down. She's done gi work. She's all about the grapple game, and I don't see her getting inside, getting close. I think Smith has a bigger reach. She's a bigger frame. Dumont looks like she might be a little bit leaner, right? Taller.
Yeah. She's definitely riding the momentum train too, right? She's won 4 of her last 5, where Evan Smith has won 2 of her last 5.
4 of her last 5 in some random places we don't know. Where
women's
Ashley
MMA.
Evans Smith has been fighting in the UFC. She's fighting the best of the best. A 6-4 in the UFC, 401 in the back alley of Brazil. I'm gonna go with the UFC fighter. I just think that
We're talking about the back alleys of the favelas, or
it doesn't matter.
maybe it does.
It doesn't matter. But I just think that Ashley Evans Smith is this more seasoned veteran.
Yeah,
It's a big jump up for Dumont to go in here and just at 401 fight a woman who's had like 4 or 5 fights in the UFC, something like that.
Not really a fight I care too much about, to be honest with you.
The next one is gonna be some fun. Fight.
Martin Day versus Anderson Dos Santos.
So one thing I can say about both of these guys is they do not have boring fights. Martin Day, his last fight was one of our personal favorite fighters, the construction worker,
blue collar, carries his lunchbox to the octagon.
Blue collar.
He doesn't. But
he should. He definitely should.
Davy Grant.
Dangerous
Dangerous Davy.
Davey. The first fight on Fight Island, I believe. I think that was the opener on Fight
First
Island.
one.
First ever fight on Fight Island.
Yep.
Yeah, there we go.
There
Davey
he
versus
is.
Grant.
There he is.
Davey
put it on him. Left
Davey
hook.
Grant has one of the most unique styles. I wish we could just break down Davey Grant highlight reels for a show because he is the most entertaining guy without being trying to be entertaining in the world. It seems like I'm watching like a scene from Snatch.
Yeah, he looks like he fights like he has a puppet master. Like the way he throws his punches.
Or like an old timey in the middle of a barn. This guy sitting there with his fist up, like throwing fisticuffs fight. And he put it on Day. Yeah. He definitely put it on Day. But Day was active. He was throwing, and that's what I think he's going to be for sure. I wrote in my notes that I think this is definitely a fight that you would want to target for Draftkings because on the flip side too, Anderson Dos Santos is the same thing. He's not going to engage in a boring fight. He's going to either try to sit there and strike with you. He can be down in the grappling game with reversals and transitions. Both these guys are going to go and score and try to win the fight. They're not going to try to win by decision either. They're going to try to end this fight. So it's not going to be a boring fight.
And we've had, Dos Santos has had some formidable opponents, some good competition. He's fought Andre Ewell. He fought Ricky Simone. He's got a win over Ricky Simone. He lost to Andre Ewell. He lost to Said Nurmagomedov.
He has a win in pink tights. He has a win in pink tights. I didn't even know you could wear those in MMA, but I was watching some of his fights. He's fighting in pink stretch pants at one point, and he wins that fight. I personally like Dos Santos a little bit more in this fight.
It's the distraction of the bulge, my man.
Man, it's kind of like
you can't see punches if your eyes are down
like
here.
The opener last night, the guy with the neon ankle. The guy got the neon ankle.
The Brian Ortega Cup.
Yeah, man.
What are you gonna do with that, bro?
But I definitely lean towards Dos Santos. In that fight.
Yeah, I'm going Dos Santos on that one too. I mean, I think the fight that's up next is what we got.
The fight next is this is gonna be a fun one.
We've got
You want to go say those names?
Sue. Okay, we're gonna take Malcolm Gordon versus Sue Mudariji out of China.
I'm having a little issues here with.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Malcolm Gordon. I've going through the film, watching these guys fight. Mudariji, if I say it wrong, I'm kind of sorry. I'm trying though. He's a big time striker. He'll stand up there. He'll throw hard. He has lots of knockout power for sure, but he just wants to stand there and strike with you. And I want to trade. I want to trade with you. He's not really interested in the grappling game too much. He deals with it if he has to, but that's not where he wants to be. Whereas a guy like Malcolm Gordon, who's a big underdog, and actually we'll get into that a little bit later when we talk about our picks. One of my favorite underdogs on this card has one punch knockout power. Literally, I've seen him knock people out with one punch, and has a gang of submission victories. I want to say at least 5 or 6 subs in his career. Chokes, arm bars, Kimuras, all that. So he has a full rounded game, and I just think that when you have guys who are about equal in the striking, you have a little bit more of an advantage in the grappling. I'm going to take the guy who has a little bit more in the grappling, and I really like Gordon here at his odds too. I think at last check he's at plus 250, 250 for that win. That's definitely a dog you'd want to be looking at, and definitely a dog you want to kind of.
Yeah, I mean he can win it submission. He can win it knockout.
We're on that one right now.
Yeah, Malcolm Gordon, Sue.
We skipped my boys.
Yeah, we'll get back to that.
We'll get back to that one in a second.
Interesting enough, that one we're going to. Malcolm Gordon has a loss against Amir Albazi.
Does he?
Lost triangle choke.
Albazi, I like Albazi. We'll talk about that when we get there.
Yeah,
and that kind of goes to his experience too. He's fought a little bit better fighters than Mudariji has faced.
This fight's taking place at. What is this fight taking place at? Bantam? Flyweight?
It is taking place at
It's taking place at bantamweight. So
flyweight.
Malcolm Gordon's coming up.
Flyweight.
Is it?
It's at flyweight. So it's.
I'm looking at bantamweight here on my using.
Well, I mean, this is from the I've always reliable Wikipedia.
Oh yeah, I've got Tapology here has got me at bantamweight.
I will go with Tapology. All right.
Yeah. So it looks like Malcolm Gordon's going to be coming up to 135, and Sulamu. Why don't we just call him Sulamu?
There we go.
Sulamu's in his natural weight class. Should be a good fight. I mean, I'm going to side with Malcolm X Gordon on this one.
Yeah, Malcolm X gets I think by submission. I think he gets
another dog play.
Yeah, that's my favorite dog of the night. Again, we'll talk more about that when we do.
Yeah, we'll run it back here real quick to Amir Albazi, Zalgaz Zumagulov.
Yes.
Out of Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan's been doing pretty good lately. Outside of
he's about to start crying
because he's about to take a beating from the prince.
Yeah. So Zalgaz,
good on the feet.
Zalgaz Zumagulov, really good on the feet. Has faced some top competition with guys like Tyson Nam, has been in the UFC. Has what's Alir?
Tagir Ulanbekov.
So he's fought UFC competition before. Just wants to stand there and kickbox with you. Though.
Yeah, great head movement, great angles, crisp punches,
power for sure.
But his kryptonite.
He has no interest in going down to that.
Yeah, and when he gets there, he doesn't look too happy, and that's
also side note. This guy must have a magnet in his cup. Because watching the film on him, 3 different fights I've seen him take a nut shot. So maybe it's about his stance.
Man.
So I'm gonna go over under in this fight, 2 nut shots for Amir.
Oh, over under, okay.
Over under 2 nut shots. But on the flip side, Amir Albazi, the Prince.
Here he is against Ralian Paiva.
Yeah, he's a striking machine. Look at he's throwing 126
2
strikes.
takedowns. Yeah.
So we were.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, just like the other fighters coming out of Kazakhstan, good on the feet. Not a ton to offer on the grappling side of things.
Right, whereas a guy like Albazi wants to
That's
take
where he's
going to
take it. That's
and
where
I
he's going to
think
take
we're going to take down City, and Albazi big slamming takedowns. We're not talking about I'm going to hook you down and wrestle you down to the ground with this power. I'm going to pick you up and I'm going to slam you on the top of your head, and then probably catching some kind of weird arm bar or a rear naked choke from it. He does not. He can, throw some hands for sure, but he's going to shoot. He's going to come in. He's going to try to take Zalgaz down, and he's going to get him down a few times. That's going to be what happens when he gets to the ground.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, the odds are changing. This is now a pick'em fight, whereas
It opened at
Zalgas is actually money's coming in on Zalgas here. Interesting. Opened at plus 100 for Zalgas. Money coming in. Now we have
still
a pick'em.
got some time for that line.
We got
to
a
move.
pick'em fight here.
We still got some time for that line. to move. That's where we're recording this about a week out from the fights too. So these lines could move by the time you hear this. So be always be careful. Basically, based on how people are betting, these lines are going to move. So right now, it might end up being Zalgas end up being that favorite. So Almir might be another underdog pick for me.
You get Albazi at dog money.
Definitely,
I'd say jump on that.
If you see he gets plus money for Amir Albazi, I think he's going to win the fight. He's my pick to win the fight.
Yeah.
He's strong. He's powerful, especially for that 125 weight class. His wrestling is top notch.
All right. Okay, here maybe low key fight of the night. Maybe here, Luke Sanders, Joseph Maness.
This definitely has it. Luke Sanders has been through it all, fought them all.
He fights. He shows up.
Does a little bit of everything. He can beat you with his hands. He can tap you out. He's a vet. He's been fighting for a long time. Cool hand Luke. Where you have Mayhem, Joseph Bannis, the second Mayhem, right? 11-1, has won multiple titles on the way up. He is, I think, the guy they're trying to prime here and give him somewhat of a name in Luke Sanders to kind of build his resume because most of his wins have become, against guys that we don't really know that well.
Yeah, Maness coming off his debut win, this year.
He can do it all.
Johnny Munoz Jr.
He can do. He got good reach, like 5-inch reach advantage on Luke, who's a bigger dude. 5'10", big for the division, really big for that division. 5'10" at 135. That's
and Luke's
crazy.
he's been here, man. He's seen it all. He's done it. He's fought some good competition. But it seems the money's coming in on Luke Sanders now, taking Maness to dog money.
He's the name. He's the name for sure. So I can see why a lot of people, especially the casual fan, Luke Sanders been around for a while, had a famous girlfriend for a little while there. And so he's kind of
coming off a win against
He's not
Renan
bad
Barao.
either. He beat Renan Barao, but we all know what happened.
But past his time, Renan Barao.
Renan Barao is not. Yeah, ever since TJ got to him. But
here in Chicago,
right, home, the United.
Was there for that fight? Great fight.
I see Maness winning this fight by decision. I don't think he finishes Luke Sanders.
I'm going Maness here. He's bigger. He's longer. He's rangier.
Right. I think he keeps that distance.
He's
Sanders,
fresher. He's been in there.
And it's kind of his time.
Yeah. It's been a year and 8, 9 months, 10 months since Luke Sanders has been in the octagon.
It's been
that big, quite a layoff.
COVID is a time warp, man. Yeah. There's been a lot of look at Liam.
Yeah, so I'll go with the more recent. He's been in camp. I'm gonna go with Jason.
Yeah, I think Maness might be a star in the making.
Yeah. All right, we got one more.
The kickoff.
The Alpha Ginger versus
Alpha Ginger.
Senor Perfecto.
Oh, he's only 1-1.
Mr. Perfect.
There's no way that Spike Carlisle is only 1-1.
He is right here.
Look, Spike Carlisle is called the Alpha Ginger for a reason. He is a bull. He's gonna shoot right away, wrestle you to the ground, and then just try to beat you into a pulp on the floor.
He's actually 9-2.
That's what
Spike Carlisle.
Yeah.
Coming off a loss to one of my faves, my new faves, Billy Quarantillo.
Quarantillo.
Yeah, he's 1-1, but he's got a 5-fight win streak.
Yeah. That's MMA math, man. Never let MMA math get there. It's your Quarantillo fight.
Outside of that, this guy's a finisher, man. He's getting your back. He's choking you out. He's ground and pounding you. He's taking you down. He comes out hot. First 2 rounds, he's fucking.
He does not take any
true to his
shots.
redheaded nature.
Fiery.
He is fiery. He is fucking coming out guns blazing.
And I love the fact that he embraces the Alpha Ginger.
I mean, look at that. Hey, he's scared of that guy.
Let's cover a video game, right?
He's got his own division, catchweight division, and he's 1-1. He's fought himself twice.
But that being said, Aljo is no pushover.
Yeah, I mean, great showing against Lamas. Lamas, fucking game.
He on a short notice.
Fight of the
Senor
night.
Perfecto, another great name.
Yeah.
So we got the Alpha Ginger versus Senor Perfecto.
Man,
that might be the battle of the best nicknames in MMA history.
But it's like. You give Spike Carlisle a haircut and you shave his beard. Maybe he's not so intimidating.
There is some truth to that. The angry leprechaun.
I mean, it's such a hard fight, because the way Algeo looked against Lamas. Lamas just retired though, but Lamas was a good fight. I mean, Algeo is very competent.
This is one of those strange matchups because Carlisle's going to shoot on him. He wants him down on the ground. But on the flip side, you have a guy like Aljo who is
comfortable there.
That's where he wants to be. So who's going to get that advantage down there? So I can easily see Carlisle getting him in that position and getting caught trying to go for a finish, trying to go for a ground and pound, getting an arm bar, getting a triangle.
Yeah, I mean, this you can see the Bill Algeo, Senor Perfecto working at range, and then Carlisle getting desperate for those takedowns. You can see quite a bit of scrambling in this fight. You could see some transitions to the back. I mean, obviously, I think Carlisle's path to victory is take him down, get on top, pound him out. But
And then what happens if this fight goes 2 rounds?
well, I think it goes 2.5.
Well, what I'm saying, because the output that Spike Carlisle is going to come out the door with,
I mean, it doesn't matter.
He's not going to keep that up for a full fight.
Senor Perfecto has no legs, so he's got 0-inch leg reach.
Oh man,
So he's not kicking this
how does he
fight.
pull out those triangles?
Yeah, and I think another good fight. I think this is another good fight. This could be another low-key
It's a strong card.
fight
It's
of the
definitely
night.
a strong card for sure. I would lean towards Spike Carlisle, but
I think this is another close. This should be closer to a pick'em fight.
it definitely leans toward pick him. If you lay money down,
Right now, you're getting Algeo at plus 145. Carlisle's, minus 165, which, if you really like Carlisle, I mean, it's not bad.
I'd wait it out.
Wait, let
see
it come
where that
down a little
moves.
bit. Try to get down to about 140,
See
minus
if-
140.
Like
if
I
you
said, a
alpha
lot of
ginger.
bettors played fantasy sports, so I Draftkings and stuff like that. I think that if you let them, a lot of people remember Aljo. A lot of people remember that Aljo fight that played like DFS.
Yeah.
They might be leaning towards him at that line, and it might bring Carlisle down a little bit, and that's where I would go in for that.
Yeah.
So do we want to jump into this card that was announced here?
Ooh, Edwards
Oh,
versus
comes that smish.
Man, this is a great card. Wow, where do you start?
Yeah, I guess they don't have it all lined up like some of the other stuff.
Look at the
but-
prelims.
well-
Some of these prelims could have beaten some of these recent
At least
pay-per-views
4 of
here.
them will be not happening.
Yeah. Let's just talk about like some of the main fights on this card that I'm excited for. I'm definitely excited for
Pereira-
Michael Pereira and Chaos Williams. We just saw Chaos Williams smoke
Greg Hardy.
Hassan. I'm excited for Greg Hardy, Tybura. Marlon Moraes, Rob Font will be a banger. Jose Aldo, Marlon Vera. But I think everybody, Steven Thompson, Jeff Neal. I mean, but everybody knows Leon Edwards, Hamzat Chimaev. I think take your dog money on Leon Edwards.
Is Leon Edwards opening as a dog?
He's a dog.
I think the world has forgotten how good Leon Edwards is.
Yeah.
He
is plus 150 right now. You can take Leon Edwards.
That's definitely where I'd be leaning. Now, if Leon Edwards is an underdog going into that fight, there's no way to.
Leon Edwards is plus 155.
Now I get it. Hamzat is the train off the rails, not the hype train, uncontrollable.
But wait, because so Edwards opened plus 150. He was betted down to plus 130. He came back up to plus 170. He's flattened back out to plus
We got some time to see how those
155.
numbers move. But that fight is. I'm really excited for that fight because one, Leon Edwards is a title shot, and if he knocks out Hamzat, he better get that.
Leon Edwards
and two, if Hamzat wins that fight, the hype is real.
Yeah.
Because that's a jump up in competition. That's a huge leap in competition from Gerald.
Yeah.
Meeshert.
I mean, Hamzat, I think it's a
Rashad.
win-win for Hamzat no matter what. You're
Well,
facing.
Edwards has everything to lose.
Yeah.
He has really nothing to gain in this
Yeah.
fight.
Yeah, I think that's what we're looking forward to the most. And then another good fight coming up: Tony Ferguson, Charles DeBronx, Oliveira.
I mean, the UFC. The fight does not.
Oh, so look at this. We got Diego Lima versus Bilal Muhammad. That's going to be a banger.
Yeah, we have. They keep them coming. They have 9 million people on their roster. and
Well,
they have
Diego Lima's he's what's his name's little brother from Bellator.
Douglas.
Douglas Lima, yeah. That should be a good one.
I was thinking about it earlier today. Like, how fucked up is it that, like, you have people training in fight camp right now and they got to, like, make weight the day after Thanksgiving? Like, how crazy is that?
Tough spot.
Do
Yeah.
we want to touch on the release of one of the all-time Hall of Fame greats here?
Past
He's
due.
Officially released from his UFC contract.
I mean, you see the name, again, one of my favorite fighters of all time. Like,
Oh, for
Anderson
sure.
Silva made me fall in love with MMA. Like, I always was into UFC, even, like, back in the Royce Gracie days as a kid. Like, what is this crazy stuff going on? But when Silva was on his run, the post-tough boom and everybody started falling into it, that's when I really, really got into MMA. And the stuff that he would do in that cage was a video game. If I sat down and told you what Anderson Silva did to Forrest Griffin, you wouldn't believe that a guy can do that in a real fight. Like if you're watching a movie, like that wouldn't happen.
What
That's
he did
bullshit.
to everybody up until Chris Weidman.
But the Griffin was just ridiculous. Like he
at that weight class. But hey, you forget he did it to James Irvin first at 205. He caught James Irvin's kick, smoked him straight right.
And then he did it to Bonner too as well. But that Griffin main event, that just showed the guy was in the Matrix.
How he worked the clinch against Rich Franklin. That's like when that Muay Thai plum really started to take off.
He started doing it.
You know.
But it was past due though. Silva's been taking fights.
Well, ever since the
last time
style bender, when he,
right.
I think that was kind of the beginning of the end, right?
Well, even the Nick Diaz fight, it's questionable if he won that fight.
Yeah.
And before that, he had the 2 Weidman fights, and then he lost to Cormier. He lost to Bisping. He's been on a run here that's not very
right.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is past due.
And then, you don't like to throw shade at people, but a lot of his losses are coming post TRT era too.
Yeah. And he got.
And that's just because he's getting older. He's one of those guys that the things that he did were so amazing, so athletic, so quick, so explosive. You're not going to do that your whole career. You're not going to be able to do that. There's no way to evolve as you get older. Whereas you have a bigger guy, like a guy like John Jones. What he does, you can age. You can age doing the stuff that John Jones does. A guy like Silva was so he's a video game. He's a human video game.
His last win was over Derek Brunson. Unanimous decision,
right?
Yep. No contest to Nick Diaz. 1, 2, 3.
Well, that's because he popped. He won the fight.
He's won one out of his last 9 fights.
That's BJ Penn-esque.
Yeah.
It's funny, the same era, right? BJ, Diego, all those guys.
Before that, though, finished everybody but Talis Latis, Damian Maia.
That Maia fight was a joke.
Yeah.
Like, literally, he started playing around.
Well, he didn't want no parts of that shit on the ground. You can't blame him. Yeah, before that, smoking everybody. You put him in front of him, he knocks him down. Yeah.
Do we want to touch on another massive fight that's going to be coming up officially? Conor Poirier 2.
Oh.
So
I think we're at odds on this one, too.
We're definitely not at this one. But a little bit more warranted, I think. This is a fight that both these guys are world class. They're title former champions. I know obviously interim whatever, but
I just think we could spend so much just working the different angles to how this fight, like how these fighters come into this. Like you've got Dustin Poirier on the losing end of the first fight. Quickly, albeit.
Long time ago.
Can't take that left hand shot. Gets smoked.
Long time ago. He's a different person.
Talks all that shit in those interviews. Like Conor, he's a fluke. I'm going to prove him wrong. Conor smokes him. At 145.
145 was a bad weight for Poirier, though.
I'm a Conor fanboy. Don't put him up against Khabib. That's his kryptonite.
Listen,
but Conor, he learned from that Nate Diaz. A lot of people think he lost that second Nate Diaz. I think he won. I've watched it plenty of times. It's close. But I got it 3-2 Conor. I got Conor McGregor here. First round knockout. I think he gets it done as fast, if not quicker.
See, Conor McGregor is a lot better than he gets credit for. Right? He's known for being Magic, Mystic Mac, all the outlandish stuff that he does, the craziness. So people get so caught in that and they think he's overrated because he's not. He does have flaws in his game for sure.
Sure.
I think that his takedown defense is underrated. He has the power out of this world for sure. But Poirier is a better technical striker than he is.
We got some recent pictures of him. We got coming in thick for this. Coming in thick. He's been training.
Let me see what I could come.
Let's see if we can get some new Conor here.
Let's see.
He's coming in with some meat on the bones.
About this $200 million in the bank, Conor, who's already talking about fighting Pacquiao. How focused is he? It kind of goes back to what we were talking about with the Ostovich fight.
This is the thing. I think this is a tailor-made fight for Conor. It plays into his strengths. Like Poirier style plays into Conor's strengths.
Where are Conor's strengths?
It's on the
in
feet,
2021. Not talking about 2016 Conor McGregor who knocked out Jose Aldo. Is a different person.
Conor's going to knock him out. Left hand.
Dustin Poirier is not Cowboy Cerrone.
Knock him out.
But, I think nobody expected that Cowboy fight to end that quick.
And I love me some Cowboy Cerrone.
Oh, I love Cowboy too.
But Poirier is a smarter fighter than Cowboy is.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Look at that. He's got his own anime shit. Look at this guy.
He's looking pretty big.
He's looking pretty big.
That's portrait mode, man.
Look at the veins coming out of the front delts.
You're talking to a man that's 260 pounds. He does not look big.
Look at that.
Look, Conor is a world champion. There's no denying that. He has that one punch power that you can't train, you can't teach, you can't. You can't at least try to turn to Dana White.
Oh,
is that what happens to white guys?
Yeah, man.
I was watching the broadcast yesterday. I was like, Joe Rogan's slowly turning into Dana White.
Yeah.
They're like merging into one person.
Superman won't know what hit him.
Man.
Look at them shoulders. Look at them delts.
He's doing it.
Look, there's a reason they're both in the main event.
Look at him. The proper 12.
His bulge.
Yeah, the proper
solid
12.
bulge. I remember he grabbed his bulge when he was like doing the weigh-ins with fucking Mayweather.
He snorted a bunch of coke in the back, gave it a little rub. You know what the coke does to you.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Well,
yeah,
it looks like
I'm taking Conor, man. Conor first round.
Early, I got Poirier by decision.
Yeah.
Poirier by decision.
Whoa.
Poirier by decision.
Man.
And then we got one other huge fight that's coming up, a little outside of MMA, but that Jones-Tyson fight.
Jones and Tyson.
We got any thoughts on that?
We know. I think.
Well, I'm kind of bummed when you hear the whole exhibition aspect and they keep saying it's like against the rules to get knockouts. Like, what does that mean in fighting? It's against the rules to get knockouts. How do you judge that?
Why are you taking away Mike Tyson's strength? I mean,
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna be.
It's like thinking about these two fighters fight in the prime is the funnest part about it. Like if these two were to fight in their prime.
But we don't need that. We got science. You see what Mike Tyson's doing right now? He even said it. He was on the Rogan podcast saying, "I'm a human science experiment right now."
Yeah. His recovery is on point.
And I think that's why it's exhibition, so they can pump themselves with all the steroids in the world.
I mean, if you go by just intimidation factor, it's Tyson all day. I mean, I think Tyson wins.
This fight?
Yeah.
I don't know. Are we talking about like right now, or are we talking about in their primes?
Well, what do you guys think?
I like Roy Jones. I like Roy Jones Jr. more in the prime days, to be honest with you.
That's where I'm leaning with that one too.
But right I like Tyson now.
I could see Roy Jones going in there.
But I'm not huge.
Tyson a little bit, and Tyson losing his shit.
Yeah, this is the crazy part. Like
Tyson's the man that bit someone's ear off.
Yeah, this guy's been suppressing all that shit for years, talking like being peaceful and meditation, right, and I'm not that man anymore. I don't want to even talk to that man anymore. I
didn't want to work out anymore.
Well, now what?
Tyson is a pit bull.
But you got to remember, Jones has lost a lot of fights recently. I mean, he hasn't fought in years. But
no, he fought I believe last year. He got knocked out in Russia, fighting in Russia.
I think he might have
he became a Russian citizen, so he could fight in Russia. But what's winning this fight? What does that mean? Like, what are they going to do? They're going to score? I don't see Tyson ever.
15 years since he's been in the ring. But I mean, if you guys are watching the Instagram promo vids, like Tyson looks ferocious.
They're selling fights though.
Jones released some footage recently. He looks. I mean, he's still quick. He's not a prime quick, but he's still very quick.
It initially wasn't supposed to be Roy Jones Jr. though, was it?
Shannon Briggs, I heard at first.
Yeah, it was the Tyson.
There was a lot of talk about a bunch of different people.
Yeah. It's supposed to be bare knuckle too. I heard. I think when he fights Tyson, bare knuckle is a fucking lunatic.
This is interesting, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
What is it?
Supposed
Six
to be
rounds?
No scoring.
6 rounds?
8
rounds.
2-minute rounds.
8 2-minute rounds.
No scoring, no knockouts, no. So I mean, we might just be in for massive disappointment.
We might be, yeah.
But Tyson is the most unpredictable person on the planet. So like you said, if Tyson gets clipped a little bit, he might just lose it.
There goes that ego.
And you're done.
That he has suppressed for how long now?
It's always that
in any situation, I'm not hopping in a ring with Mike Tyson. I mean, maybe if I'm getting paid with Roy Jones, getting paid for this, but Mike Tyson, that's what I'm saying. I don't know how they're going to keep this as an exhibition. The side note on this card, the undercard, there is a real fight going on that I'm interested in. In the Nate Robinson and
So
Logan
are we
Paul.
taking over under a quarter of an ear?
Oh.
Let's see if I can pull it out.
That's what Roy Jones even said.
A nibble or a bite?
He goes, I don't know how I'm going to act. Maybe he tries to bite my ear.
Well, the fun thing, didn't he say he'd do it with Evander Holyfield again? Or Evander Holyfield was saying if Tyson wants to do it again, I'd be in if he called me.
Evander Holyfield still works out with his son, who's an NFL football player.
Yeah. I don't know. This is this stuff.
So you don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch.
It's even
I'm a fight.
We're
junkie.
talking
Conor,
Manny Conor. It's I really don't have an interest in seeing Manny Pacquiao and Conor McGregor. I just don't.
I don't know. I think I think that's a better. I mean, styles make fights, and I think Manny Pacquiao is a lot more active fighter than Floyd Mayweather
I
is.
think Manny Pacquiao's gonna fucking light Floyd or Conor McGregor up. He's not gonna sit there and toy with him like Floyd.
I mean,
Yeah,
if they
it's
really
game
want
over
to,
for-
they can. I don't,
Manny's just gonna go in there and just pop his head.
Right. So this has got the undercard. Here's the fight card here.
Okay.
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul?
There you go. Jake Paul and Nate Robinson.
Is this Nate Robinson, the
From
point guard?
Yes, Nate Robinson, the
Oh
point
my
guard.
goodness.
That's what I want to see.
Bodu
right
Jack.
Yeah. This
What in the hell is this world coming to?
I don't know who any of these other guys.
I thought that said Nick Jonas for a second. I was like,
That's my cousin.
Heavyweights?
Shout out to Nick Jonas.
Yeah.
a heavyweight Nick Jonas.
But yeah, that Jake Paul and Nate Robinson. Now they're gonna fight. That's just a pro boxing match.
Didn't
Sanctioned
Jake
match.
Paul and KSI just have the rematch?
Logan Paul.
Logan Paul.
His
Okay,
brother,
this is
yeah.
Jake. Okay.
Yeah. So that's what they're gonna fight for. Of course, they have a little fake championship too.
Yeah. Well,
Where's Frontline
with no
me?
winners.
Yeah. How do you win? How do you have no
Oh,
knockouts,
God.
no scoring, and how do you win a championship?
Right. Well, but this is as of October 23rd, so I think things have recently changed.
Well, I'll tell you what. If they're really gonna do that no scoring shit, they should not tell anybody that before they order it.
Well, that's why they're saying I don't think you can bet on the fight.
You can't bet on
Yeah,
it.
like you were talking earlier. Like, how does that favor Tyson? Like, when has points ever been his strategy? You know, like,
Yeah, no. Tyson's a front forward, knock your head off type guy.
yeah.
Ferocious.
I like Tyson. I like
I don't even
Tyson.
know what to call it. I'm just gonna watch it.
He's got to sell, Tyson Ranch.
Tyson is talking about going on and having real fights after this, though.
Yeah.
He's saying, I want to go after Tyson Fury, which would be so.
He's about to have the own weed line, Punch Out.
Oh,
Well, and then,
he does, doesn't
It's
he?
a new strain, does he? Does he have Punch Out as a
I think
strain?
it's Punch Out.
I think Adesanya is supposed to be commentating this fight, the Tyson fight.
Oh, that's even better.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's
So
even
what's
better.
the next step for Izzy?
Lago City.
Oh, he's going to take that 205 title from Jan, and then he's going to chase John.
Ooh,
another
you
heavyweight.
think so?
I think so.
I don't know.
I think there's only one guy.
Jan's too big. Jan grapples him, takes him down.
Jan doesn't grapple anybody.
He will. He'll grapple Izzy.
Jan's going to go to sleep. Ron's going to go to sleep, and Izzy's going to lose to John Jones in 2021. He's going to chase John Jones to heavyweight.
That's if he
But
don't
have
get
you seen John
smished.
Jones recently?
Yes.
He looks like
Yeah,
He
he's
can't
jacked.
be called Bones no
He's
more. He needs
jacked
a
to
new
the
nickname.
gills.
He's not Bones Jones anymore.
No.
right. That guy looks like a beast.
Yeah.
Well, and then what's the? I mean, are we going to talk about the potential Colby Masvidal fight? We think that's going to happen.
That's a fight that needs to happen.
I think they're. I heard something through the grapevine. They're trying to work that out for the Ultimate Fighter.
to be the coaches.
Oh shit!
Now that's
Now, these guys. This is good because
TV.
these guys used to be best buddies. They're riding in the car together.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. They're both
Swapping the girls from the streets. They're doing all the bro stuff together before all this.
They're all
recency
hanging
stuff.
out with Trump, so
They're
they're
both
getting
Trump
out.
Now,
supporters. Yeah,
now
but-
Masvidal's a Trump
But
supporter too.
how's Kobe going to have that angle now, though? Like, how's he going to wear the Trump hat? Like, I was campaigning with Trump. What are you doing?
Yeah.
How is it? That's going to kill Kobe's gimmick.
Again, that's another fight. Like, I mean, yeah, you can build a lot of hype around it, but I think as far as stylistically, I just think it's Kobe's fight. Colby.
Yeah, I don't see it.
It's not a fight I like from like an actual person that, like, not from a casual standpoint, like from a person that's really into the sport. Like, it's just not a fight I want to see. Like, it's a stylistic advantage for Colby, I think.
I definitely want to see the fight. I think Masvidal's takedown offense is definitely
Yeah.
underrated. I don't think that Kobe's going to sit there and try to hit that volume striking, that 50% where I'm just going to hit you. But if you do that with Masvidal, he can put you out.
Like,
for sure.
Masvidal is kind of always, like, I like Masvidal. He's exciting. He's great from his, like, street fighting days. But he's always kind of been that, like, middle to upper part of the road of the divisions. Like, he strung some good wins there, and he started to make
Masvidal
that
has-
name.
But
and,
he's only fought top guys. He
Yeah.
does not fight any cupcakes in there. So that's I think he is at the top of the division. It's
Yeah.
just he's the only guy that's only fighting these top people.
Yeah.
He doesn't fight nobodies.
I mean, like, he's one of the most exciting fighters. He's got the BMF title for a reason. But I think, like stylistically, this is not. Yeah, like, I want to see him more things that suit him stylistically, right?
Yeah, I mean, the closest. I mean, there's not really many people like Kobe out there fighting with. You have wrestlers, you have strikers. He just kind of just moves nonstop energy, especially at
Yeah.
that weight. You don't see that at that weight class.
Yeah, can we pull up the rankings of that welterweight division? Let's have some fun with this. Let's do some dream matchups here, or like how we could really kind of spin this. 'Cause-
UFC welterweight rankings. Hold on 1 second. Booyah.
Tyson said, I wanted to kill Holyfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tyson says a lot of weird, crazy things.
Oh, yeah. What he asked Joe Rogan, like, what does it mean when you want to hurt people and it makes you orgasmic?
I think it means orgasmic's a little concerning, but like
not verbatim. But
we do jujitsu.
I'm paraphrasing.
You get your submission, you get your choke, your armbar. That shit feels great.
Man,
orgasmic. It's like I own you now. Well, at least for this 6-minute roll, I own you.
So yeah, Kobe up at number 1, Masvidal down at 4.
So let's see, Jorge Masvidal.
And he belongs to that 4. He's definitely at that 4.
For sure. Like,
that list.
Put him in a fight against Magny, like Luque, Masvidal Luque. That'd be a great fight.
But you don't go down.
You don't go down.
You don't ever go down.
But you have Stephen Thompson fighting Jeff Neal. So Thompson's fighting 11 Neal coming up. You have Chiesa. He's kind of just sitting around with his thumb up his butt.
Doing commentary.
Okay, what about
whatever happens with this fight?
This is gonna be a big. This is gonna be a big. And Bilal Muhammad is up on the rising. Anthony Pettis. Is still
so maybe you make Chiesa. I think you take maybe Michael Chiesa versus Jorge Masvidal. I think Jorge Masvidal's takedown defense is good enough for a guy like Chiesa. Chiesa's got good ground game, good takedown, but he's not.
I don't see
up there with Covington and Usman.
For one, George Masvidal is not taking that fight.
Yeah.
There's no benefit for him taking that fight. For one, he's only going to fight up. He's going to take Kobe. 1, it's going to be a huge payday. 2, if he wins that fight, he's getting a straight shot right to that title.
So if Burns loses, what do you do with Burns? Burns, Chiesa? I don't know.
You'd probably go Burns either. Was it Magny fighting somebody soon?
Thompson and Masvidal have fought, haven't they? Thompson beat Masvidal, I think.
I believe so.
Thompson's another sneaky one.
Why is Woodley starting? Is he retired?
He's up
He went up. How did Woodley go up?
And how did Maia go down?
Yeah, Maia won his last fight. Woodley lost his last fight, if I'm correct, right?
Masvidal smoked Till. I mean, Masvidal can maybe go. Could he go up? Maybe play around that 185 division, that bottom.
I think he's more likely to go down.
Yeah. Yeah, 155. Yeah, he's more likely to go down 155, maybe. A Gregor Gillespie type, but Gregor Gillespie likes to grapple.
Or even fight a guy like Tony at catchweight.
Yeah.
Masvidal, Tony at catchweight. Give me that. At 160.
Yeah, what do you do with Masvidal? I guess it's Covington's the only fight to make.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Again, you don't want when you're up there, you don't want to come down here to fight. There's all you do is lose.
Yeah, it's good for that.
That's why Leon Edwards didn't want that Hamzat fight. Like, he's just going to lose.
Yeah. The only reason they ranked him because the Nevada State Athletic Commission pitched a fit about Hamzat being unranked. He's like, that high-ranked fighter can't fight a guy unranked like that. So they ranked him.
Right. I mean, if you look at that list, he probably should be higher. I'd probably have him at like 8 or 9.
Yeah. I mean, what about Pettis hanging out there at number 12?
Is Pettis fighting still? How did Anthony Pettis go up? See, that's what these rankings. What do they mean? It's basically Dana White goes, okay, I want to make a fight, and I want to be 2 versus 3.
Let's talk about that thin light heavyweight division, though.
That's why I was talking about with earlier when we were talking. I was talking about the light heavyweight being wide open, and that who's fighting Anthony Smith? We just talked about.
But even this, like even the lightweight used to be, but like once you start to get about like here, it starts to kind of thin out. You know, like it's kind of losing its.
Well, Kevin Lee and Islam Makhachev
shine.
are guys that I could still see end up getting to a title picture.
Yeah.
Those two for sure. Beneil Dariush too is a guy that if I'm in that top 10, I don't want to fight.
What do you think's about to happen? I kind of feel like we're getting a setup for Michael Chandler, Dan Hooker, because Oliveira's Ferguson, Poirier,
I think
McGregor,
Chandler's
unless it's Gaethje Chandler.
I think Chandler's fighting the winner of that Conor Poirier fight.
Why keep him on the show for that long though? I don't understand.
Because he wants the big money fight. You gotta remember the money aspect of this.
Yeah, but
nobody's gonna pay to see Dan Hooker.
Chandler's coming on. He got knocked out by featherweight Patrici. Come on.
Right. It's still the name though.
Give him Dan Hooker. I like Dan Hooker.
Who's gonna pay to see that?
I'd like that fight.
That's gonna be a fight night fight.
Yeah,
nobody's gonna pay to see that.
Let Chandler prove himself.
They paid Michael Chandler a lot of money to come over to the UFC. They're not gonna put him on a fight night card.
Yeah, well, they put him in a top card and he gets smoked. What are they gonna do?
They're gonna make all that money in one fight for the pay-per-view buys.
Fire his ass.
No, he'll come back. They'll do like they did with.
What about Felder?
They'll do like they did with Askren.
Chandler.
Askren came in. You know, he technically won his first fight. They had him in like not a co-main, but he's up towards the top with Lawler.
A lot of these guys have been inactive though. Like who of these guys have fought recently? Dariush has.
Well, Islam was just supposed to be a main eventer. Gregor Gillespie fought
Felder,
recently.
Dos Anjos.
Who knocked Gillespie out? Lee, right?
Kevin Lee.
Kevin Lee did, right?
Head kicked him in the fucking next year.
I haven't seen Farrer in a while.
Yeah.
Ali Quinta's like semi-retired, I feel.
He's selling real estate in fucking Long Island.
Well, it's so hard to judge too with the whole COVID thing. Like the first half of the year, everything went away. Drew Dober fought recently.
I mean, Dana White has a big point about talent, though. Like, you can see a lot of these guys are, like, getting close to the end, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Well, that's why he has the Contender Series. He's doing Ultimate Fighter. He's signing everybody in the world. They have, like, a 300-person roster. The roster is ridiculous. But then there's always been those, like, middleweight has always been, like, a historically kind of top-heavy, weak division. It still kind of is. It's those weird weight classes.
Where's that flyweight division? Let's look at that. I'm interested with that division.
Not me.
Let's see.
Not me.
Yeah, I guess you get to 7 and it's kind of all downhill from there.
Yeah,
that bantamweight though. Oof,
give me 135 to 155.
Yeah.
That area. That's where it's at right now.
Let's see.
And I think heavyweight's on the rise. Heavyweight's got a lot of guys coming up that. Like if you look at this, where's the heavyweight top 10 right now?
Yeah, there it is. I just passed it on the left there.
Nagano, Blaze, Rosenstruck.
I think there's a lot of guys on that list right now that aren't on that list, I should say. Like if you look at the guys like Espino, Dawkins, Greg Hardy's coming up there.
Fucking Romanov.
Arlovsky's still at 15.
Cyril Gane is up and comer. The man who's not on there, you said his name out there, King Kong himself.
King Kong.
He needs to be on that top 15.
Tom Aspinall.
Aspinall's another
one.
The
fucking low rent Frank Mir.
Right. Like that heavyweight division, right? I don't know who should.
Dude, if this shit ever gets popular, I'm going to have to run. I'm going to have you take my back.
Yeah.
Good thing I got a super heavyweight over here.
I'd put Romanoff up at like 7 right now.
Yeah, he could beat a lot of those guys, dude. Sure.
He needs to fight a top 15 person. Put him in right now.
Who the hell is this Sergey Pavlovich guy? I don't even know who that is.
If you don't know who Alexander Romanov is, look him up.
Yeah.
Watch him.
King Kong.
King Kong himself.
Yeah, man. Well,
they got that the women's 115 too. They got 125. 115. The straw weights.
1 second.
Yeah, there they are. Weili Zhang.
Zhang, Rose, Joanna.
Wait, Wally. What the hell? What's going on?
This is just the
pound for pound. Okay, women's straw weight.
Women's pound for pound.
Nama Yunus.
That's a division right there.
We got John D. Roba fighting Dern, right?
Right. That's gonna be a good one.
Taysha Torres is fighting. Who's she fighting? Is it Esparza again?
I believe so.
And no, she's fighting Hill, Angela Hill, right? Yeah, Angela Hill.
That made it.
Angela Hill's fighting Torres. Who is He-Boss fighting? Watterson. Yes.
Roddy Hottie.
Yeah.
Roddy Hottie.
Poor Hottie.
That's a double Hottie fight.
Yeah. And then you got Nina Ansaroff. That's Nunez's wife, isn't it?
Right, yeah.
She probably won't be active for a bit.
I don't see any.
She just won that one, yeah.
She looks rough in that picture. We need to redo that one.
She got so whooped in that Joanna fight.
Yeah. Claudia Gadelha. Oh, gosh.
Gadelha?
She's been letting us down, too. Yeah, well.
I accidentally put my computer to sleep.
I mean, I forgot we got Lauren Murphy up there in the top 5. Maybe give her to Chikagan. Make Murphy and Chikagan go.
I mean, you can book that fight. You can put Chikagan against anybody. I don't want to watch
Where's
it.
JoJo? Okay, she's 7.
I'm telling you,
There's
JoJo.
my girl Roxanne, number 8, hanging out. I think Maud Efre's fighting Arujo, though, is she not?
Yeah, with her 20-20 record.
Arujo's going to kill her.
There she is. That's the one.
Macy Barber.
That's the one.
Who's she fighting? She's fighting Grasso.
Grasso.
Alexa Grasso.
Who's not ranked?
Not ranked currently. Interesting. They ranked Calvillo, but they didn't rank. Calvillo got to number 4 off 1 win.
That's maybe a fight you might want to book, though, Basie Barber Calvillo.
Yeah.
That
Well,
might
she's
be
fighting
something-
Grasso. Grasso's not that much different from Calvillo style
Right.
wise.
It's like, but I'm thinking, help. They want Macy. They want Macy to be the one up there.
Yeah. I just don't like Macy. I don't like her. Jillian Robertson's fighting. She just announced who's she fighting, or it's in the works. Fuck, forgot who it was. Yeah, I can't remember, but she's got a fight coming up too. Oh, KGB Lee. That's a step down for Robertson. I think like Angelique's 10th, but
She gotta go up. She's
I think
going up.
I think Robertson's going to beat her, sub her.
Where is? So what? So Nunes just pulled out. We don't know why. We don't know what she's doing.
For what, featherweight? There's not even a featherweight ranking. Jeez.
No, that division needs to go away. They bought that division for one person, and she's gone.
Yeah, but Megan Anderson can't get to 135, can't she?
She can't get to. There's nobody in the division. She's not even ranked. Like,
Well, she's gonna have to figure something out. She's gonna have to chop herself off at her ankles, lose some weight.
listen, you can't hold a division for one person.
Yeah.
I'm sure Nunes like, no, I'll stay up here. I don't want to lose more weight. But
I mean, Jermaine Durant will be coming off a good win. I think you make GDR home.
they had that, didn't they?
Or how about home lad?
Didn't GDR just fight home recently?
Yeah, she beat her, I think. I don't like. You don't know, because all these people have already fought each other. Irene Aldana. Who's Aldana gonna fight? Aldana lad. Aldana home. Our home already beat Aldana. Aldana GDR, but Aldana's off a loss.
I'll tell you who's supposed to be looking sharp and wants to fight is Sarah McMahon.
I don't really like Sarah McMahon. I think she's actually fighting. Who's she fighting?
I know she's been talking really hungry to get a fight.
Can't remember who she's fighting. She's got a fight coming up too.
Yeah,
Pena. Maybe it's Juliana Pena. Sarah McMahon's coming up.
Yeah, you need GDR needs another title shot. Give it to her.
Yeah. I mean, what else are you gonna do?
It's got to be GDR. I mean, you're probably right with the GDR home. Between both their last performances, they both probably earned a eliminator fight, and then whoever loses that never gets a title shot again.
There's just not enough women's talent, I guess. You know.
Still young. It's an evolving sport right now for them. It's so top heavy. If we didn't have
Where's Miranda the Maverick? She's not in those rankings yet.
But if we didn't have like Valentina and we didn't have Nunes up there, it'd probably be way more interesting to watch those fights. Because you just know no matter what those women do, when they step to the champion, they're going to get put out.
How about Holloway and Calvin Kattar? That's going to be a good one.
That's actually going to be a real good one. Cater's been asking for that too.
When are we getting Yair and Zabit? I'm ready for that one.
I don't know. Never.
Magomed Sharipov.
Never.
I thought they were supposed to be coming up already.
That keeps getting canceled.
What do you do a chance on?
Where's
John?
Volkanovski going after? Who's he fighting next?
I don't know.
You gonna give him
Ortega.
T-City?
He's fighting Ortega.
T
yeah.
City?
I don't know when.
Locked in?
I don't know. I don't. It's not locked in, but that's what they're saying.
How's Josh Emmett?
Oh, he's 7. Give him a chance on
How was
John.
knee?
Jeremy Stevens, Arnold Allen was supposed to be
I
happening.
want to see a Shane Burgos fight. I haven't seen him fight in a while. Last time he fought was Emmett. And that was a great fight.
Yeah, he got beat, right?
Yeah, that fight was awesome. Though.
Give him Bryce Mitchell. Bryce Mitchell Burgos.
I'll see Shane
Actually,
Burgos.
how about we have a grappler's delight? Ryan Hall, Bryce Mitchell.
Ryan Hall is fighting somebody. He's got. I think that might be the fight.
That'll be a grappler's delight if so.
I'm going Thug Nasty in that one.
Ooh, I don't know.
I'm not gonna go against Thug Nasty.
Fucking
I don't
Ryan
care
Hall
who he's
sub
fighting.
fucking greatest BJ
The
Penn.
camo shorts. I'm not going against him. He's going against Zombie.
Who?
Ryan Hall's fighting Corey Zombie.
Wow.
I think so. Is that this the internet fooling me? No, it's Ryan Hall tweeting it. That's what Ryan Hall's head. That's what I saw. Yeah, he wants Zombie. Let's go for it. I'm down.
All right.
I don't think I've ever seen Ryan Hall throw a punch. He doesn't have to. He just rolls you out.
He just fucking rolls and grabs
tears your knee up.
fucking. What do they call it? An Amari roll.
Yeah.
Shit, I'll never be able to do. I'm not flexible enough for that shit. You think I need to for the little guy game, but I'm taking that top heavy pressure.
I'll pull out one of those rolls.
Yeah, it's like our games are reversed.
Yeah.
I should have your game.
Because I'm small for a heavyweight.
You're flexible for a heavyweight. I wouldn't say small, but you're
See
just,
some of those big guys that
you're
throw
flexible for a heavyweight.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
When I face that guy, I'm going to be the small guy in that fight.
Well, you guys want to? I think we can wrap it up here. We've been going for almost 2 hours.
Yeah,
Damn.
man, we covered a lot.
I think it's important to mention that you can follow the social media pages on Instagram, In the Guard. On Twitter is In the Guard 1.
In the Guard 1 on Twitter.
The number 1. Facebook website is intheguardpodcast.com. All that fun stuff. And then we're live tweeting, live as fights are going on. You know, there's always stuff outside the podcast that's happening if you follow some of those other.
Yeah, we'll post some Draftkings stuff throughout the week too as the rosters come down, ideas, thoughts on the fights, any kind of news, because we know, right? The world of MMA, it never stops, it keeps going.
Yeah,
there's gonna be, by the time we leave here, there's gonna be 5 new notifications of what's happening, what fights got canceled, what's switching. So, again, follow us on that social media. We'll let you know what we're thinking about it.
Anything you'd like us to cover, let us know. We'd see more of.
We'll do some polls on Instagram. All that stuff, get a little fan interaction.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for listening. Really appreciate it. And we'll see you on the next one.
In the Guard tapping out.
Yeah.